Unlocked from ERPM Golf Club in Boksburg. Thank you so much for joining us on our live stream today, wherever in the world you might be watching from, and on whatever platform, be it DSTV Now, be it the Sunshine Tours Facebook page, or on the YouTube channel. It's wonderful to have you along for the ride today. It's going to be a superb afternoon filled with some wonderful golf, as we have seen the entire week. Lots to look forward to, plenty of highlights from a little earlier on. Scoring was excellent on day one of the Vodacom Championship Unlocked here at ERPM Golf Club. Almost half of the 107-man field posted rounds of better than par, but it was MJ Viljoen who was in a league of his own. He finished 2 better than anyone else on Wednesday, carding 9 birdies with just 1 dropped shot in a scintillating 8 under par 64.
The last 2 years I've been working a lot on my golf swing and getting the right techniques, and I kind of neglected my putting a bit. I wouldn't say it was bad, but it wasn't above average or better than average. So it's a couple of things I've been working on, not technique-wise, but just getting the ball in the hole when I get to the green.
Already a winner in the Sunshine Tours Rise Up Series, Daniel van Tonder grabbed a share of second place after a flawless 6 under par 66. Van Tonder finished runner-up in last season's Order of Merit and has been cashing in on that form.
For me, I would say I've been playing well for the last year and a bit. My season of last year was quite consistent, but this year the same. Just a game plan and I don't know, just enjoying it out there with my wife in the bag, so quite happy.
Joining him on that number was playing partner Neil Skittercut. He got off to a flying start, reading off 4 birdies in his first 5 holes. Things slowed slightly thereafter, but he finished well with birdies on his last 2.
I've been working really hard on my putting. It's been kind of letting me down in this Rise Up series. So I kind of neglected the hitting part, and I came out and I made some nice putts. So I was like, okay, well, maybe afterwards on the range you need to work on the hitting part and just chill with the putting. And I started rolling some nice putts in. So, like I said, the greens are great. So the guys that, we can all hit the ball out here. The guys that putt the best this week are going to win.
Jake Redman was one of the early starters. He turned in 3 under par before making an eagle on his 11th hole and a birdie on his 13th. He also signed for a 66 and a share of second place.
66 opening round's always a nice start. I hit it really nicely. Didn't miss too many shots, to be honest. Not many weaknesses today, so I was really happy with the result.
Paul Boshoff birdied his last 2 holes to join the 4-way tie for second on 6 under par. Jacques Blau and Kurt Grunewald are a further shot back after carding first round 67s.
Stay connected to the Vodacom Bulls family. Download the Vodacom Bulls app on Google Play or the App Store today.
MJ Viljoen remains the man to beat at the Vodacom Championship Unlocked here at ERPM Golf Club. Viljoen was well on his way to matching his opening 8 under par 64 after making 5 birdies in 6 holes around the turn. However, he dropped a shot on the 15th and parred his way in, signing for a 5 under 67. He's on 13 under and leading by 2.
Front 9 was very nice. I played brilliant golf on the front 9. The putts didn't go in today. I got a bit scruffy on the last 5 holes. For this little course, it really takes a lot out of you to, keep focused and everything. So I think I lost a bit of focus on the last 4 or 5 holes, call it that. But all in all, played beautiful golf. Here and there, the ball bounced my way, but that's the name of the game, so yeah.
Closest to catching Viljoen is Jake Redman. He followed up his first round 66 with a 67 on Thursday. It was a round that contained 5 birdies and an eagle, but also 2 dropped shots.
Yeah, I was obviously happy with the way things went today. I think I scored pretty well. I didn't hit it as well as I did yesterday, but the putting was really solid. Kept the ball in play, minimised the damage when it was needed, and walked away with a 5 under par round. So very happy with the end result.
Darren Fichart, already a winner in the Sunshine Tours Rise Up Series, seized solo 3rd place thanks to the joint low round of the day. He mixed 7 birdies with just 1 bogey in a 6 under 66 to move to 10 under par and 3 off the pace.
66 on any day is a good score. Obviously, I feel like I've left a few out there. I've been hitting the ball really well, and I've started putting pretty well today. It's made 2 silly pars and 2 par 5s and a 3-wack and a par 3, but other than that, I had a very good day.
Another winner in the Rise Up series, Daniel van Tonder, is in a share of 4th on 8 under par alongside Neil Skittercut. 5 golfers are a further shot back on 7 under, amongst them Jacques Blau and Keith Horn. Will win their share of 50,000 Rand from Betway. So a wonderful initiative from Betway and really good to see. At this stage, it's Darren Fichard who's been one of the standout performers in the Rise Up series so far, who is tied with 52 alongside Jaco Alers. Hot on their heels, Jaco Prinsloo with the overnight leader here at the Vodacom Championship Unlocked, MJ Viljoen on 50 birdies. So lots to look forward to over the next little while as the guys try to chase their way to the top of that leaderboard and try and force their way into the pole position of the Betway Birdies leaderboard. This week, the Sunshine Tour is at ERPM Golf Club for the 4th event of the Rise Up series, the Vodacom Championship Unlocked. It's a layout that stood the test of time, having been founded back in 1903.
It was obviously a mine course set up by the ERPM mining company, and it was obviously for the guys that worked on the mine and then became members and then for Boksburg town as a whole. But it started out obviously as a mine course.
Situated in Boksburg on the east rand of Johannesburg, this delightful par 72 is a typical Parklands layout, but with a twist.
What makes it quite nice in comparison or different to the other golf clubs around us in Ekurhuleni is that we have some nice elevation change. So we have a back nine that's quite high up, and we have a front nine that's pretty flat. We've always had very good greens, and the layout is typical Parklands.
ERPM has played host to a number of events, and having the Sunshine Tour return to the club is a big boost.
We're trying our best to get back into the top 100 golf courses. We've been there before for quite a while. So our plan would be to get back into the top 100, and this will go a long way to showcase the condition of the golf course, the playability of the golf course, and the clubhouse and our facilities. So that's the aim, I think, is to get yourself down in the rankings, show the public that you open for business in the sense of if it's good enough for the pros, please come through and have a look at our golf course.
Many of the golfers have fond memories of playing this course and couldn't speak highly enough of the challenges it poses.
I like this place. I think the last time I played here, I played an amateur event and I won. So, I like the setup, and the greens are really good.
I kind of grew up playing here, playing for Ekurhuleni junior golf. We played a lot of golf here, and I kind of know the course from tee to green. This is definitely a course that you can go low, but if you don't watch out, it'll bite hard. Yeah.
I think it's one of those courses that you don't really need to overpower, especially the back nine. There's quite a few finicky tee shots. A lot of 4 irons, 2 irons, even a few 5 irons off the tee box, even a 6 iron. So the front nine's more drivers. But I think that's probably one of the keys to this golf course is getting it in play off the tee, and then it's not too bad from there. The greens are really good. They're quite receptive. At times they can be a bit firm, but with the greens being as good as they are, they're running at about 11.5 on the stimp meter, and they're pretty true. It does make it a lot easier. So keep the ball in play off the tee, and you can score really nicely.
Such a great test of golf this week here at ERPM Golf Club. It really has put the players through their places and certainly provided plenty of opportunities for them to score as well. You can see the treetops just moving a little bit there. It's slightly breezier than it has been for the last few days, and that is reflecting in the scoring. It's slightly trickier out there than we have seen for the first 2 days. We saw some really low scoring, but today, not so much. A little bit from the guys who are pushing the lead group, but really we are seeing scores towards the top of the leaderboard that we weren't expecting today. And that, I think, is largely due to the weather, and we'll get a full report on that from the man who is out and on the ground, fellow commentator today, OG Molefe.
Afternoon, Richard. Yes, indeed, scoring has been a little bit tough here today because it's gotten a little bit breezier than we've seen it over the past 2 days. It is getting warmer though. It was a little bit chilly in the morning, but those guys that started earlier, obviously, they probably enjoyed the better of the conditions. A guy like Tristan Lawrence going 5 under 67 today, Kyle Barker as well, so they had birdie opportunities to get. It will get a little bit warmer. Temperatures expected to reach about 29 degrees today. You spoke about those trees moving, and just behind me on the 18th green, I mean, that flag is properly blowing, and winds are going at about 27 kilometers per hour at the moment, and it's definitely making it a lot more tougher for the guys to go out there and post a lot of scores. Conditions are great. We've seen the members also coming out here to try their luck behind the pros. They're going to have some tough conditions to actually try and maneuver throughout the afternoon, Richie.
Thanks very much, OG. Yeah, as you heard, it's pretty breezy out there, and that is reflecting in the scoring. Guys struggling somewhat, but he did allude to the fact that there have been some good numbers out there already. Towards the bottom of the leaderboard there in 9th position, Tristan Lawrence and Kyle Barker, both carding rounds of 67 a little earlier on today. So there is a number out there to be had, but it's not being had at the moment from the guys towards the top of the leaderboard. MJ Viljoen currently leading the way, 2-shot advantage over Darren Fichart, a little lower down the leaderboard. Guys like Yaku Ahlers are in position as well to push for the title today. It's going to take something special on the back nine. There are certainly scoring opportunities there, but it's not going to be easy with the conditions as tricky as they are at this stage. Looking a little further down how things are going there. Plenty of players over par today. We weren't expecting that, but they are trying to make the most of the tricky conditions out there. So just to confirm, MJ Viljoen is the man who is leading the way at this stage. 2 over on his round today, but still a 1-shot advantage for him over Darren Fichart, who is on 10 under par at this stage, with Jacques Blau and Daniel van Tonder snapping on their heels. A further shot back on 9 under. Here's a look at what conditions are like out on the course at the moment. This is a view from the back of the 16th. You can see the trees are moving slightly, but the interesting thing about this shot is the flag is barely moving. It's going to be tricky for the golfers today to try and figure out what the wind is doing. Always look at the top of the trees and try and figure out what is happening there, but it's not going to be easy for them to commit to a shot here, especially when the flag's telling them one thing and the trees are telling them another. We're here to the 18th now, and Lyle Rowe is coming to the end of his round. Also not been the ideal round for him today. Would have liked to go a little bit lower, but 2 under on things as they stand at this stage. 1 birdie on the back nine, 3 dropped shots, and could have been considerably better than it is at the moment. But Lyle Rowe trying to finish up with a birdie here. Does move slightly to his left just at the end there. Maybe giving that a bit too much. But Lyle will tap in for his par. So Lyle will finish up at 2 under for the week, and that at this stage good enough for a share of 34th place. Heinrich Breiners finishing up with his par, currently on the 11th hole. Looks like Jake Roos spotted trouble on the 16th here. Found the trees. And these are the sort of issues that you can have here at ERPM Golf Club. Wayward off the tee. And it doesn't look like he's got much of a shot there. Doesn't look like there's a full swing. Gonna have to punch out and try and advance this as far up towards the green as possible. But really not ideal for Jake Roos here on the 16th. Jake, of course, with a phenomenal round yesterday of 66, a bounce back from his 75 in the first round. Really got him in the mix today, but not taking advantage of things as they stand. Still 5 under par at this stage of proceedings. At this stage, 7 off the pace set by MJ Viljoen. Jake taking plenty of time here to try and make sure that he doesn't compound the error off the tee. Gets himself back in play. Potentially still manage to save par here. '16 is playing slightly tricky today. Not too many birdies to be had out there. And Jake Roos has got a bit of work to do if he's to save par there and stay at 5 under for the championship. To the 12th tee now, the par 3 up the hill. Playing at around 152 meters, 147 exactly, but with the slight gradient, it's at around 150. And Peter Moolman in action here. Moolman currently 7 under par on his round, turned in 1 under. Birdied the first, which is a great start for him. Dropped a shot on the 5th, and then birdied the 9th, which is another tricky hole. Not too many birdies there. There are mistakes to be made, and certainly some big numbers have been carded by some of the players today. Luke Jerling now, the left-hander, with his tee shot into the 12th. Lovely flag today. Really is a flag that's accessible. The wind is into the players and slightly off the right coming up the hill there. But if you land it in the right position on that green, it does feed nicely towards the pin. Probably 5 or 6 paces right of the pin, and just onto the green is absolutely ideal if you are looking to get it close here on 12. Jaco Ahlers, who's reeled off plenty of birdies so far in the Rise Up series. Be looking for another one here. Currently 7 under par for the championship. Pretty good effort from Jaco Ahlers there. But it just feeds away from the flag as you go towards the left of it there. Here's Callum Mowat now, and his second shot into the 17th. There is a bit of a backstop there, but not coming back all that much. But that will give him an opportunity to card an eagle on a 17. It is certainly potentially a great opportunity for the players to pick up a few shots as they come towards the end of their round. Byron Coetzee here, his 3rd shot on 17. Should hold on to the back edge of the green, but they are pretty slick today. But he has managed to stay on the green, and that will give him an opportunity for birdie on 17. Jock Peter Villiers here assessing what he has left. Bit of a mistake to find the left bunker there. Not much room to work with there on 17. The pin only 6 paces in from the left. So he's managed to short side himself here. We'll be hoping to get up and down here and potentially advance to 7 under par for the championship. Looks like he is slightly on the upslope, should make it a little bit easier to get the elevation. He needs to stop this quickly. Has lofted up, and that is very nicely done from Jacques Peter Villiers. Kick in birdie of a foot or two, and an opportunity there.
Stay connected to the Vodacom Bulls family. Download the Vodacom Bulls app on Google Play or the App Store today.
Back to the 12th now. You can see how the trees are moving there. That's really one of the most exposed parts on the course, one of the highest points as well, certainly the highest green out on the course. The 13th tee box is a little bit higher than that, but there's a lot of wind flapping around there. It does make it slightly trickier on the par 3. Still, the 3 players in this group all safely aboard the 12th hole, and all with opportunities for birdie. Looks like Luke Jerling first for his attempt. This one should drift slightly to the left side of the hole. Want to start this with a decent pace, but not too much. It can feed away from you a little quicker than you think, but not that much. As you see, it does get away from you very quickly there on 12, and it's still going, in fact. Doesn't help that that is a downwind putt too, so it makes it even trickier. Byron Coetzee now, and his birdie attempt. Oh, wonderful putt from Byron Coetzee. You want to be cashing in on the par 5s here at ERPM Golf Club, and that's certainly the way to do it. He's pretty happy with his effort there. Now Jaco Alers with his one coming back up the green. Will have been helped by seeing what Luke Jerling's ball did going past the hole. So tough to get the pace and the line married up perfectly there, and Alers will tap in for a par as he remains at 6 under. Did drop a shot on 11, which was slightly careless, having turned in 2 under. 1 under for him on the round today, and 6 under in total. Callum Oates with his downhill putt for eagle. Greens are getting pretty slick as it dries out this afternoon, and being uber cautious on that is Callum. Still a tap in birdie, and he's done what he can on that hole. Luke Jerling now to clean up his par on 12. In the side door, but it's a par nonetheless, and well done to Luke Jerling for keeping a clean card on the back 9 in any case. Turned in 2 under, and at this stage going along rather nicely. Last member of the group, Peter Moorman for birdie. Excellent effort from him as he gets to 8 under par, and that at this stage good enough for a share of 8th position. So Peter Moorman going along nicely. Still plenty more scoring opportunities to come on the back nine here at ERPM Golf Club. And lots more golf to come in the final round of the Vodacom Championship Unlocked. A pretty breezy day out there today, and that's put the brakes on the scoring so far. Darren Fichart and MJ Viljoen at this stage in a share of the lead. 10 under par. MJ really going in reverse at this stage. 3 over on his round today as they move towards the turn. Jacques Blau making a good move, 2 under on his round. He's just finished up on the 9th hole with Daniel van Tonder already a winner in the Sunshine Tours Rise Up Series. Daniel van Tonder 1 under on his round, 9 under in total. Not alone in the commentary box today. Lucky enough to have Doug McGuigan joining me here. Doug, thank you so much for coming in to have a word with us. It's lovely to chat to you.
Richie, thanks for having me. I enjoy doing this. My second time now, and you know, it's new experiences as you get on in life, and fun to be here.
Well, certainly we're going to be tapping into all of that experience that you have gained. And lots to chat about today. How was it out there? It looks to be a little bit blustery and a bit breezy out there today.
Yeah, the difficult part is, you know, pulling a club, because you got your number, but the greens are getting hard and the wind. So pulling the club's the tough part, Rich.
The trees are moving. The flag, not necessarily. I guess you're looking at the top of the trees to try and figure out what it's doing up there, but a lot of the flag sheltered as well. Difficult to sort of figure out what you're looking at.
Yeah, and also there's some buildings in the back nine, so the wind will swirl through there, and you don't get the feeling over any shoulder or into your face. It turns as you're standing on the tee box, can be into you, and then it's behind you. So you know, it's tough to pull a club. As you can see there, the trees doing their thing. But the big thing is the greens are firming up, and you're allowing for that release on the second bounce. And to get that right is tough, because you've got to keep the ball down and get the release and the stop. So it's a bit tough to get scoring, hence the scoring's not so low as what it has been.
Fortunately, didn't seem to be too many pins towards the front edge of the green. There's a bit of room to work with there, at least on the back nine in any case. Does that help a little bit that the pins aren't towards the front, as you say, allowing for that release?
Yeah, there's one in the front, 2. Number 10 and 12, I recall, are both in front, but 12's into the wind. So that's an advantage. But if you get behind that flag, it's quicker than I thought. So, yeah, some seriously quick putts out there. And then even 17, the par 5 downwind up the hill, was probably running at 13 or 14. So tough to judge, really tough.
You mentioned 12. There's your hole right there.
There it is, yes.
Plenty of room at the back there, and that's where you don't want to be. But we just saw the group that came through there, all reasonably close to the flag. It is a hole where sort of if you landed on the ridge there, it does feed in, but there's not much room there, and you've got to be pretty precise with a shot up the hill and with the wind playing havoc too.
Yes, and you can see if you go a little long right, which is where you're aiming, if it goes too far, you've got a putt that's probably running at about 16 on the stump. So, I mean, I played with Lyle Rowe today, and he 3-putted from about 6 foot. So it's really quick from the top there. So you're nearly better off hitting it just short of the green and chipping up the hill.
You! You champion, you! Yes, you! Today is your day, because you are our favorite. So, use Vodacom and we'll reward you with Vodabucks to bank and spend on your phone on things like these. Yeah, Bo! On us! Because you're special. And it's available to everyone on Vodacom. For you, for free, for real. Join to earn, bank, and spend. Ready? Vodacom.
Out to the 16th now. Doug, that's a pretty tricky hole as well. Tee shot where you've got to position yourself. I guess the right-hand side of the fairway gives you a better look into the pin on the left there.
Yeah, the thing with this hole, you stand on the tee and you think, this is something I should birdie. And you walk off the green, you go, what's just happened? It's a little silent assassin. The guys look at it, think driver, but it's just a 3-iron or a 2-iron down the fairway, and you got a wedge or gap wedge in. The thing is, you got a big tree between you and the flag on the left, and you got to fly that if you're on the left side of the fairway. To judge again, it's winds into you off the left. So to judge your distance is a little bit tricky again, but superb little hole. Again, proving you don't need 500-yard par fours to be tough. Yeah, really good.
There's a lot of those options that ERPM does provide you. It's a great course in terms of providing options off the tee, options for how you want to play holes, how aggressive you want to be, how conservative you want to be. It really is entirely in your hands.
Exactly, yeah. I played with Lyle actually all 3 days. We made the cut together and played. And Lyle's out there with driver on most holes, hitting it as far as he can. And I'm more conservative off the tee because I'm not as long as the youngsters anymore. So you see different ways to play the course, but there's intelligent ways to play the golf course. You know, just banging it down there is not sometimes all that clever. But it does give you good options. I lived near here a few years ago, and I think they changed the greens a year and a half ago, and they've done a superb job here. It's really, really a pleasure to come and play here.
Dylan Naidu obviously in a spot of bother in the bunker there.
Yeah, your bunker sands.
Have too many options.
You can get some plug lies out there, so you don't control the spin like you are used to.
This is a pretty good leave if you are going to miss it anyway. This is not a bad spot.
Yeah, short of the greens is never that bad.
Pretty good effort there as well. Ahead to 17 now. Jake Roos looks like he's got himself in the ideal position off the tee.
17, they've moved the tee box forward about 50 yards. That's a really good shot because if you land up, the screen has this is a softer screen on the golf course today. So you're landing it short to try and get the shoot up, and that's the only green that's biting. So it's a bit of a guess there.
That was Roos a little earlier on. Jaden Shaper now with his second into 17 as well, also in a great position. Doug, how impressive is this young talent?
I was just going to say, I was a member of Ibachi for many years, and he was a kid there, and I know his mom and dad and that very well. And he's always been a very dedicated player to the game, and it was great to see him do well in the SA Open there last year. And he's showing he's got game, and because the conditions we've played on the last few weeks, and I think he's made 3 out of the 4 cuts. It's all a good start, and I think he's got a good future in front of him, career ahead of him. He's very level-headed.
Very impressive career as an amateur and as a junior, and adjusting well to the paid ranks here. Maybe a little stuttery towards the start of his career. Struggled around the beginning of this year in some of the events that he played, but really is starting to find his feet now. And in particular in the Rise Up series, as Doug McGuigan alluded to, he's been very, very impressive and very solid. Maybe he needs to put together 3 rounds. He's been putting together 2 great rounds and getting himself into a position, but just needs to close it out with a good final round.
So the thing is, from amateur golf to pro golf is a big step up. When you walk onto the tee as a top amateur, no one really cares what you've done. And so it's getting used to that and getting that acceptance from the other players too, that you belong there. And it's a whole different mindset. But he'll be okay. He looks very solid, very level-headed, and like I said, his mom and dad have helped him a lot and keep him grounded, which is a good thing.
Having a nice chat with Jake Roos there as well, another experienced campaigner and a guy that he can certainly learn a lot from, how he goes about the game. Now, Dylan Naidu was out of position with his second shot in the bunker front right on 16, and a dreadful putt.
It's another very quick putt from the top there, as you can see, and it's downwind. So to judge it it's just different. It's a different mindset to judge those greens, the downslopes and downwind putts. You've got to actually move the hole 3-4 feet closer to you than what it is.
How much of a role is the wind playing in terms of those putts, Doug? You mentioned downwind putt as well. For folks back at home, they might not be. Great effort. They might not be too sure about what you mean from a downwind putt. Is it affecting the ball that much?
Well, you've just seen on 17 now this chip from the front. Without wind, that ball's 3-4 feet closer. But now with a wind like that helping you, it's speeded up that putt so much, or that green downwind. It's really speeded up a lot.
Back to Dylan Naidu now on a 16.
This is the thing around ERPM. You miss a green and you don't hit a good chip. You're looking at doubles so quickly, and you've got to keep patient. You know, it's a very rewarding course, but it can penalise you on any hole.
Solid putt there, and
Very
only one
solid.
drop shot for Dylan Naidu, but he won't be delighted with that. But it is certainly one of the holes that is causing problems for the golfers. Tristan Lawrence, who was going along so nicely, made a par there a little earlier on, and he's one of the few guys who's escaped with anything there around par. A lot of drop shot from the golfers, and 16 certainly causing issues. 17 is where they look to score, and Jake Roos will certainly be eyeing out the big bird here. 5 under par at this stage, and this for eagle. Pretty good effort from Jake, leaves himself a good look at birdie there.
Yeah, when you stand on that tee at 17, you feel it's a par 4. Most of the guys are going driver wedge, driver gap wedge. But it's just like I say, when you hit the green in the front, the speed of the green really surprises a person. And you'll still see a few 5s. But I imagine it'll play 4 point something today over the course of the day. That's a good stroke.
Over the first 3 events of the Rise Up series, he said he was struggling a little bit with his putting, but it looks to be considerably better, at least for this week. He seems to have found something in the putting, and you know, that looked, as you say, certainly much better.
Yeah. The problem too, you know, out here, you don't make, you're still shooting some good scores. You're not knocking putts in and things, and you see the other guys on 8, 9, 10 under. Now you're putting badly. You know, you're not actually putting badly. The ball's just not going in, and it's so difficult to accept that. You know, it's another mindset you've got to get into. That your putting is not that bad. It's just this week it's not going in. Now next week the guy will want to change his putting stroke or change putters, and it's not always that. You know, it's just it's swings and merry-go-rounds in this game, eh?
Difficult, I guess, to try and commit to it when things are maybe, as you say, not dropping for you. You put maybe unnecessary pressure on yourself to try and find something there.
Yeah, you start looking for things that aren't there, and it's just normal. But eventually you go back to the putter you originally had, you swap it. Here's a fine example of Jake Roos. He's had this putter for about 12 years, and he'll try the new stuff, and he goes back to that all the time.
Garage full of putters, but Old Trusty stays in the bag.
That's right.
Oh. Not delighted with that. Is Jake.
But there again, there's that green on 17. It's my 3-ball. 2 of us 3-putted there from the front. Now he's just 3-putted. So this green is really playing havoc with the guys. It's very exposed, so the wind is hitting the ball around a lot.
Jake in for his par, but that'll be an opportunity missed that he'll feel maybe got away from him, but still 5 under at this stage of proceedings.
He'll
and
be a bit gutted missing that.
At this stage, tied 16th.
The wonderful thing about the Rise Up series is that it's given golf courses who normally wouldn't host a tour event to get the opportunity to do that. And courses like ERPM are not like the traditional Glendower or Pretoria Country Club who've hosted co-sanctioned events in the past. And so for the likes of Killarney, ERPM, and next week Huddle Park to get some tournament golf from the Sunshine Tour and the Rise Up series has been absolutely spectacular. ERPM have been great hosts throughout this week. They've had legendary members such as Hachi, who belonged here for many, many years as well, the likes of John Bland. And our co-leader as well, MJ Falloon, he played quite a lot of his junior golf here at ERPM, and you can just see how popular he is with the members. So it's been wonderful to actually see tournament golf coming to what people maybe may call smaller clubs to actually get the opportunity to host the greatest players we've got in South Africa. So it's been great, and we look forward to going to Huddle Park next week. And for the members here, they're hoping that this is something that will long continue. Back to you and the Golf Ridge.
Thanks, OG. It's a club steeped in tradition and steeped in history, and certainly a wonderful place to be hosting the 4th event of the Rise Up series. We've seen some wonderful golf so far in the first 3 events. The 3rd of those wrapped up just a few weeks ago at Pretoria Country Club, and it wrapped up with a victory for George Coetzee.
Pretoria Country Club played host to the 3rd event of the Rise Up series, the Titleist Championship. George Coetzee began with a share of the final round lead, and despite dropping 2 shots early on, steadied the ship. Coetzee then reeled off 6 birdies in 7 holes, en route to a final round 66, finishing on 13 under par to claim a 4-stroke victory. Coetzee put in plenty of hard work on the mental aspect of the game during lockdown, and believes that was key to his success.
Lockdown, you couldn't work on your game, so you had to work on something. So I felt like it was a good time to work on mental game, and I feel like we've made a lot of good strides, me and my team, in putting stuff together that I'm comfortable with using in tournament golf under stressful situations or pressure situations. And today I felt a couple of times like I was a bit under the gun, and I just kind of stuck to the game plan that we have, which is you're going to have to get your own experience, because I don't think everything's the same for everyone, but my game plan worked for me.
Coetzee has enjoyed plenty of success on his home track. He bagged 2 Tshwane Open titles at Pretoria Country Club, and expectations were again high.
Yeah, over the moon. Happy to I'm glad I played. Obviously, it's a special place for me, this, having won the 2 Tshwane Opens and now the Titleist Championship. It's a special place, and it's nice performing well and when people expect it, because you're going to expect it from yourself quite a lot, and that's usually the killer. So it's nice for me to pull it off every now and then on my home track.
That was the 3rd event of the Rise Up series, the Titleist Championship, a few weeks ago at Pretoria Country Club. And George Coetzee claiming the victory. Just a remarkable run he has been on. Missed the cut at the Betway Champs, which was the first event back since the resumption of golf after the COVID-19 pandemic break. He finished tied 2nd at the African Bank Championship. He won the Titleist Championship, won the next week at the Portugal Masters, then finished tied 3rd at the Open de Portugal, and, well, it's fairly average this week, I'm afraid. In Ireland, he's tied 34th. So George Coetzee is on a remarkable run.
Yeah, it's something to see. I mean, that missing a cut the first week, you don't know what to expect there. And that first day when we teed off, I think the wind chill factor was -9, so it was like being married again. Yeah, that was really, really tough. But to miss a cut, there was nothing. Anyone, like I said, anyone could have won, anyone could have done well, anyone could have played badly. So there was nothing to really go to look at there or take from it. But then, like you say, after that he came right. He 2nd win. It's a seriously good run for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
really good.
It's helpful that he did find a bit of form here and then headed overseas to go and cash in on that form and bag the victory in Portugal. But Doug, it is like that. You do find something and you do find a bit of form and things start clicking for you, and all of a sudden you're in a very good space.
Yeah, you get into a stage where, or a frame of mind, when you walk onto the first tee, you wonder how you're going to shoot 68. You don't wonder if you're going to shoot it. You wonder how you're going to do it. How's it going to happen today? And you get into such a positive frame of mind, and the game feels so easy. You've got the ball is under control. Your putting stroke's good. Everything's good, and it happens for about 5-7 weeks. You get those runs, and then you get the other runs which aren't nice. But it happens to everyone. That's just life, but more so in golf, I suppose. It's up and down. It's just the nature of the game.
Doug, obviously moving around from course to course as well, it can't be easy to try and maintain that sort of form when you are going from, in George's case, bitterly cold and rock hard at Killarney in the first event to, well, he's in Ireland now where it's soft and cold and, a little bit of rain around and just completely different to what he's had for these 6 weeks.
Yeah, you say that, I often say if these top players around the world come and played on our winter tour, they wouldn't do as well as everyone thinks, because we play on conditions that they don't even resemble each other from 1 week to the other, to the next. So that's why we get a lot of different winners here. Obviously, there's a lot of cream that's always near the top, but the conditions are so different each week, every course we go to. You look at the States, everything's like it's manicured. I don't think they would play on certain golf courses we play on here, but we got some seriously talented players to shoot the scores that we do in some of the conditions we play in.
Yeah, they always say that if you can make it on the Sunshine Tour, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah, that's a pretty accurate statement, I would think.
Such vastly different conditions from week to week, such vastly different golf courses, and that's also part of the reason they say that we produce such good golfers, is the ability to adapt to whatever the course and the conditions throw at them.
Yes, I think when the guys get to America and the PGA Tour and stuff, they seem to stay on that tour longer than Europe, because Europe's also, different countries, different golf courses, different trees everywhere, and it's a similar thing in Europe, different golf courses each week. It's also a lot of different winners in Europe each week as well. So, but the States, I mean, you go there, everything's so well manicured, there's similar types of grass each week, and then they go in they play weeks on certain types of greens, certain parts of the country. So you see your different winners each week, or each area, when they go to Florida, it's a lot of grain, different putters, different putting styles winning. So Williamson, there's a few good new youngsters coming through. I don't know all of them yet, but I suppose I'll bump into them sooner or later.
Doug,
there's some strong players coming through.
As a seasoned campaigner, and you touched on it a bit briefly, are guys trying to sort of pick your brains? Are they having a chat? Are they trying to grab a coffee with you, or a practice round, or chatting around the putting green and the driving range?
There's one or two, but no, not really. If they did, I'd certainly help as much as I could. But no, the guys are doing their own thing. The youngsters these days don't pick brains like we used to when I turned pro, when you had Fulton Allen and Johnson and Bland, these guys, Hugh Baiocchi, people like that. But today, no, they do their own thing. The youngsters today come out and walk around like they've got the jacket already, and but they learn as they go along. It just doesn't work like that, and then they come to. Actually, I speak to MJ a lot. MJ Fuller, and him and I actually become good friends, and he's been playing really nicely for quite a while now. It's really nice to see.
Certainly has shown good form over the Rise Up series.
He has.
Dylan Naidu with an absolutely monster drive there down 17, and a little flicky wedge into the green there, and an opportunity for eagle. Jaden Shaper into the 18th now. This is his second shot. 18's also playing tricky. Normally, I think it's a stroke 2 for the members. It's a tough hole.
It's a really tough drive today. You've got, there's a good shot. You've got the wind in off the left, and it's already a tough drive without wind. And most pros do not like the wind left. They say about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Most pros don't like that, because you tend to smother the ball, and you either hit it high right or low and left. So it is a really tough tee shot today. You could see some fireworks of the last groups coming through there, a shot or two swing.
To get it, make par, and walk away from there relatively unscathed, but it must have been heart in the mouth moments for him as that ball headed towards the right of 18.
Those are the type of things that win tournaments. When you're not winning tournaments, they hit the other side of the roof.
Exactly. You'll land softly in somebody's green garden or pool.
Yeah, exactly. The conditions around the greens this week are also a little bit easier than the last few weeks we've had, because we've got a bit of growth now with the heat. So it's a little bit easier to chip this week than it has been the previous weeks. So you'll see there should be some good chip shots and things happening during the day.
We have actually seen a couple of guys hole out from around the greens this week. Louis Diache, Neil Skiddycat. We saw a couple of eagles in the first couple of rounds. Here's Malcolm Mitchell now coming towards the end of his round. Came up a little short on the 18th, and this is his third shot. He was so impressive last season on the Big Easy IGT Challenge Tour, and really has translated that into some pretty good form here in the Rise Up series as well. Looks to be a solid player and one who's going to be around for a good few years on the Sunshine Tour.
It's good chip there in the 18. Got a nice swell between him and the ball, about a 4 or 5 feet break from the right. It was a good shot.
Dylan Naidu now with his eagle attempt.
Balls are rolling nicely on these greens. They've done a seriously good job here, like I said before. Really impressive.
Everybody has spoken highly about the greens here at ERPM Golf Club, and they're running true.
You know, one of the positives from the COVID thing is people talking to people. There's more memberships now at the clubs. The golf memberships have picked up by between 20 and 30% around the country, and it's a great thing for golf. You know, I don't know if it's just woken people up and said, you know what, this is a sport you can play with your wife and your child and go as a family. And it's one good thing that's come out of the game is the memberships, the rates going up, or the people joining clubs again.
Yeah, chatting to a lot of the golf directors around the Gauteng region as we've moved from course to course as golf has resumed. The memberships, as you say, are definitely up, and that largely due to the fact that you had to be a member of the club if you wanted to play golf when it resumed, when they opened the golf courses again. You had to be a member. Yes. It was the only way you could get onto a golf course. And then only a month or so after that did they start allowing guests of members. But even then, it was tough to get on if you weren't actually part of a club. So, you know, as you say, there's been a lot of things that have been wrecked because of the pandemic, but a few good things that have come of it. And, Doug, that is certainly one of them.
Yes, most definitely. I know my home club in George Fancourt, if you had a guest, you had to play with a member. I think that's changed now, but like you say, you had to be a member there, so most of the clubs.
There certainly seems to be a renewed interest in the sport as well. People wanting to get out and about, as you say, play with the family and have a bit of fun out there. And it's a great opportunity to do that and to grow the game as well.
Yes, really is a bit of a pull there from Jaden. They call the youngsters the flat bellies.
A part of the grey beard brigade.
No. Less hair brigade. See, there again, it was another shot, another putt on 17. There's something of this hole that's the guys aren't reading properly, and it's happening each group that comes through.
Doug, what is it doing there? Is it just on a sort of tricky spot? What is it?
I don't. Oh. See, even that little putt there, he nearly missed that as well. So he missed the putt going up from the left. It never broke, and then that one there broke heavily. So it's on a little spot there that the guys aren't seeing.
Jake is so solid with the putter, though. I mean, everything about that stroke looks good. The posture, the position, the hands, everything. It just looks like he's going to make putt after putt, and generally towards the top of the putting stats each year on tour.
Yes, he's got a really solid stroke. You know, his nice one-piece, shoulders, hands all going together. So nothing really can go wrong if you just keep your eyes on the ball and your head relatively still. So we got Donnie Fontana has gone to the top at 11.
Lots happening towards the top of the leaderboard. MJ Viljoen, who started with the lead, has struggled towards the turn of things. He's 3 over on his round at the moment, and that slid him back to 10 under. He's dropped shots on the 7th and the 8th, and a disaster on the 2nd, made double on the par 5 there, which is unthinkable, really. But I guess the par 5s here, if you get into a spot of bother here, it is pretty difficult to recover from there.
It would be, and you know, I think he's won once on the tour, and he's back in the winning position there. So you know, you don't get into those positions too often. The nerves hit you. It's just normal. It doesn't matter what tour you're playing, you get nervous. And the first hole, I don't know if he made it 4 or what, but then made double. It could be a bit of nerves, but it looks like he's settled down now, and he could pull it back the back 9. But you got to get into those positions to feel the nerves and to get through those experiences.
Yeah, interesting chatting to him after his round yesterday. Said it's a position that he's not used to and not been in too many times. So struggling, I guess, to try and deal with that. And as you mentioned, his first win, he had to come from behind. It was 4 shots back when he started the final round at Fish River. So maybe not used to being this far in front and ahead and leading into the final round.
Yeah, it's territory you're not familiar with. So, if you do it once, you do it twice. And then you go from there, and you don't get used to it, but it's something you've experienced before, and you can kind of deal with it easier. Like you look at Aaron Fickhart's up there most weeks, Dog's up there. The guys that are up there, they are consistently up there, and it shows. There's no substitute for experience. It's just the way it is. And I think that's what's going to happen. Like you were talking about young Jaden earlier on, it's just those experiences will help him going forward.
Yeah, you bank those memories and you try and turn them into better performances week after week as we continue with our coverage of the final round of the Vodacom Championship Unlocked here at ERPM Golf Club.
You! You champion, you! Yes, you! Today is your day because you are our favorite. So, use Vodacom and we'll reward you with Vodabucks to bank and spend on your phone on things like these. Yeah, Bo! On us! Because you're special. And it's available to everyone on Vodacom. For you, for free, for real. Join to earn, bank and spend. Ready? Vodacom.
Back to the 17th now, and by the looks of things, Jaco Prinsloo is in a spot of bother, and this is the best he could do to try and punch it out through the trees there. But also a player with plenty of power and should be cashing in on these sort of holes.
Yeah, he'd be licking chops off that tee, knowing he's going to hit sandwich or L-wedge in. But now he's sitting in this situation, so you a little bit. Let's say your heart's beating a bit faster because you didn't do what you should have, but he's got some good hands on him, the youngster, so let's see. And he's chipping into the wind as well, which helps a lot. And now if you can, it just depends on the line now, what you do. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, obviously the lie was nice and into the wind. Big difference chipping into the wind and downwind.
Yeah, setting up nicely there, and he was able to hit it high and land it soft, and the ball just sitting nicely. There'll be a tap-in birdie for Jaco Prinsloo, and he has reeled off plenty of them. He was very much in the mix in the Betway Birdies Challenge, and at this stage in 3rd place. Will certainly add to that tally throughout the course of the next week or so.
Yeah, his big mate and touring partner, JC, I think he played in the US Open the other day and last week. He's obviously, when your traveling partner starts doing well, it actually brings you up to do well. So I expect things from Jaco soon. Also very level-headed, very practices, vigilantly and stuff, and he'll start playing well. He's got a lot of power, and if you don't have soft hands, you can't do what he just did. So he should come right. He went off the tracks a bit, but he'll be back, I'm sure.
Yeah, and he certainly had a couple of good finishes. Were it not for 1 or 2 holes here or there in the first 3 events of the Rise Up series, he could have been in the mix.
Yeah, 100%.
But another talent in this group, Tristan Strydom, was so impressive at Pretoria Country Club. And he looks like one to watch, and he's also got a good opportunity here to improve on his overall tally at this stage.
You've got a few guys now that have got serious power and finesse, and it's a great asset to have both of them.
Yeah, as you spoke about experience, Doug, it would have been something he would have enjoyed playing in the final group alongside George Coetzee at his home track. Maybe it didn't go the way that he would have liked to, but still something that he would have learned from it.
Yes, for sure. There's no like I said, no substitute for experiences like that, and just hope you learn. You just hope you watch and learn something from it. You know, whether it's one shot, it could make a big difference going forward. It's a quick putt from here. Doesn't look that fast, but it is quite fast. Yeah,
It's an
superb
excellent
stroke.
putt.
Superb stroke. Get up, get up. Don't leave him hanging.
So eagle for Tristan Stradel, that's really well done. Left himself in a great position off the tee, a wonderful second shot, and a great putt to a tricky hole location that's causing plenty of problems for the pros today.
African Bank still offers SA's best investment rate of 12.22%. Visit africanbank.co.za for more information.
Jaden, tough week for you. Opened with a level par again today. Conditions were tough.
Yeah, tougher today. A lot of wind out there. Greens got a lot firmer throughout the afternoon as the round went on. But yeah, just never putted it. Didn't get the putter rolling from the word go. And I mean, 3-putt of my first hole today. Just kind of been the story of the tournament. Didn't hit it close enough in a few holes. Didn't take advantage of the par fives. I mean, some of these par fives are playing really short, and just if you miss a fairway, you can get a little bit of an unlucky bounce and a bit of an unlucky break. So yeah, but just it wasn't my week, and yeah, a little bit of a struggle. But yeah, I got a few good things out there. So yeah.
And it looked like the greens were firming up as well as the week went by. I mean, it was seeming a lot tougher to try and stop the ball.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the first round I played it late afternoon, and greens were firm, but they weren't too bad. I mean, they were still holding. You still get a bit of action on them, get a little bit of check, kind of have that feel of what I was going to do. It was pretty consistent. But today, there were a few greens out there that were just a little bit, were pretty much rock hard, and a few soft ones. But yeah, I mean, just got pretty tough out there. I mean, it was quite hard to judge how the ball was going to bounce, how it was going to react, come in with. Doesn't matter what club you're coming in with. You catch the wrong slope, wrong little spot in the greens, and you can get a completely different result. But yeah, firmed up quite quickly out there. I mean, this afternoon, those last few greens come in were really hard. I mean, my second last hole, par 5, coming with a sandwich. I mean, probably took me about 15 meters to get that thing to sit. So yeah.
Sure. What are you working on now, heading to the last of the Rise Up Series tournaments next week?
So yeah, like I said, felt a few good things coming down the last few holes. I mean, hit probably one of the best iron shots I've hit in the last 4 weeks on the 12th hole today. So yeah, got a few good feelings coming in there. But yeah, just some positives. Got to get the putting a little bit more consistent. Got to work on some pace, get some pace draws out there. Had a phone call with my coach last night and just spoke to him, and we've got a few things set up for over the weekend to get grinding. And so yeah, it's on the right track. We've got the right ideas. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, cool. Thank you, Jaden. We'll see you next week.
Cheers.
Back to you, Richie.
Yeah, wonderful to see Jaden Shaper finishing up with a level par 72. Opened with a 72 as well, 69 in round 2, 3 under par in total for him. And that currently good enough for a share of 29th place. But it's Daniel van Tonder who leads the way in the third and final round of the Vodacom Championship. Unlocked 11 under par, 3 under on his round today. And that one clear of Peter Moorman, Darren Fichart, and our overnight leader MJ Viljoen. They're all on 10 under par. Back to the 18th now, and Andrew Williamson with his second shot.
Yeah, great golf shot.
Flag's really flapping around, isn't it, Doug? It's making it incredibly tricky over this closing stretch.
It actually looks like it's picking up if you look at the flags. So it's certainly going to be in for a good finish with that. The guy's obviously got his numbers together, and his ball flight, and keeping the ball flight down is going to pull it off at the end.
Now, we were speaking about youngsters. Here's another one who's also got a bright career ahead of him, Luca Filippi. Got himself into a spot of bother here off the tee on 17. Not ideal for him.
Usually Christmas trees are happy things.
Not here.
Not here. It's amazing, though, if we have rain in the next week or 2 weeks, you come back here, it'll be a completely different looking golf course. And amazing how things change here so quickly. I did live here a while ago, and it's amazing how just within 2-3 days everything just changes.
Yeah, you can water as much as you want, but nothing substitutes the rain. It's
The rain and the hail, yes.
It's much needed, and it will change things rapidly here on the Highveld with a little bit of rain.
Yeah, it sure will. Oh, that's a seriously good shot from there.
He was dead and buried there, Doug. That was a horrendous place to be. He was left off the tee as well. Had to carve something out from the trees. Missed it way right. And that is so good.
Only advantage he had was chipping into the wind. It's another good shot. That's about as close as you're going to get it from there.
Yeah, also dead and buried was Martin Skeepers there.
Yeah.
Now Lucas had to punch out from under the Christmas tree. No presents waiting under that for him, and this is third shot now.
Yeah, in that situation now, you're busy talking to yourself in your head.
1 over par in his round today. Double drop on 12, which is curious. Wonder where he wound up there.
12, that par 3, yes. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a 3-putt involved there somewhere. We won't know until we talk to the youngster. You miss a green in the wrong spot, chip it up, you get 3-putt so quickly. So. Oh, he's recovered beautifully.
That is an absolutely superb shot, one of the best we've seen here at 17. But
Sure
Doug, as
was.
you say, so difficult to allow for that bounce. I mean, that looked like a tennis ball landing on the green. A good kick, but it's tough when you see those balls bouncing. You try to sort of figure out what yours is going to do.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, we're sitting here watching. There's some of the members going out to play the course the pros have played. I'd like to hear the comments afterwards. I'm sure they'll be going, "What are we doing? Where's the water?" Is this Chris Swanepoel?
Henio Kennedy here.
Yeah, Kennedy.
Also made a name for himself for the Big Easy IGT Challenge Tour. And was certainly in the mix at Pretoria Country Club.
It's massive. You see, he's pitched it on top of that to the distance, and it's not going to stop there. There's no chance.
Also looked like he tried to sort of flight it down a little bit.
100%, yeah. But you know, if the new balls these days, sometimes they get knocked down from the wind, other times they get carried, so you don't quite know what you're getting.
Interesting, he tried to flight it down with the wind. Would have thought that would have given him a bit more juice as opposed to trying to sort of hit it high and let it drift a bit on the wind.
Yeah, he was obviously trying to pitch it on that lower level and just stop it into the bank and then let it trickle up, but you fly it too far like that. And the only good thing is he's chipping back into the wind.
Louis Diacha's hit a big one here down 17.
Yeah, Lou's become a really tidy player. It's been great to see. He's a really solid lad as well.
I guess a bit of time in Europe will certainly help mold him and evolve him as a player.
Yes, exactly. And he was actually saying to someone the other day, this run they had in Europe now was really tough, going from the golf course to the hotel. You were from bubble to bubble and with a COVID. And he said it cost him a fortune to be there. But you can make a fortune too. But I see the UK now is having problems again with the COVID resurgence.
Yeah. Spiking again.
That's not good, eh?
Yeah, it's so tricky, and it just makes it all the more remarkable what the Sunshine Tour has managed to achieve with the 4 events so far since the resumption of professional play. No issues for any of the golfers. We can knock on the head and all the rest. Yeah. Andrew Williamson there, deserving of a birdie after that second shot he hit. That was,
it really was
something special.
It really was.
But Doug, this Health Docs app that they've got going, and the screening ahead of everything, the sanitizer everywhere. I mean, for you guys, you must be fairly encouraged that they are looking after the players as well as they are.
Yeah, you get here in the morning and they take your temperature and stuff, and you got to fill in your health docs and things, and they're doing as much as they can, and no more can be done really. So kudos to them; they've done really well. and they've put on some good show. You know, they were a bit worried about scoring and the scorecards and all that stuff, but it's trivial stuff that they're worrying about. As long as we can play tournaments like we are, the purses are a bit small at the moment, but it really beats the hell out of sitting at home, I must tell you.
Yeah, exactly. We're just only too grateful to have
Very
professional
much.
golf on the go again and be able to be out there and compete.
Yeah, very much so. You know, I don't think any of us look, you can't say you don't enjoy staying at home. You love your home, but when you're forced to stay at home, it's a different thing as opposed to when you're home on a break. But I think we all a bit of, we've got nomadic blood in us. We all love to travel and see places and go around. And so I think it's been hard on a lot of players mentally, but the guys are out now, you know, the guys are happy and they're telling stories again. And
Yeah, I
it's
think
good
normally
to see.
a break for a professional golfer is a week or two, maybe 3, 4, but 6 months is something unheard of in the sport.
That's a sentence. You know, like for myself, I play social golf probably 5, 6 days a week at home with members and stuff. And so for me, it was really tough to do. But you know, it's amazing what you can achieve in tough situations. Mentally, you can achieve a lot more than you think you can.
What do you learn about yourself in that time away from the sport, Doug? What does it do to you in terms of your demeanor when you come back out here? Do you appreciate things more? Do you have a different sort of understanding of yourself and the way you want to go about things?
I think so, eh? You know, when they announced the 3-week break, you're prepared for 21 days, and you thought, how am I going to get through 21 days? And then it carried on another 3 weeks. And I think the first 3 weeks, everyone was out there barbecuing at night or brewing at night and having a few drinks and saying, okay, we're off for 3 weeks. And then you started training a bit as well. You know, you did all the fitness stuff. And then when they announced it again, I think everyone stopped training because it was a form of depression set in. I think I look at a lot of the patterns were very similar. I was training as well at one stage, and when they kept announcing we're keeping this going, you get a bit of a depressed attitude, I thought, and then when they started dropping the levels, the positivity started coming out again, and then when the golf courses opened, that was obviously the turning point for everybody to get going again.
Yeah, I think you guys are very much sort of results and schedule driven, isn't it? You've got to have something that you work towards, something to either achieve or something to compete in and take part in.
Yeah, look, we're competitive. If you're not a competitive person, you're not playing professional golf. It's a big gamble as an occupation. So you've got to have that side in you, and just to stand there and practice you're not practicing for nothing. You never practice for nothing, but when you're practicing and you don't know when you're going to play tournament golf again, it's kind of half-hearted, I found. Even when the golf courses opened, I played a lot of social golf. I didn't practice much, because just to get out of the house and play with the members there at Fancourt, I can't say it was rewarding or anything, but it was nice to be at the house, and it was the best of a bad situation. So, you know, they got you going, and then when they announced we were going to have tournaments again, that was obviously the pick you up. Yeah.
Exactly what you needed, exactly what Louis de Jager needed on 17 there, making eagle. He gets to 5 under on his round and 10 under overall, and that currently vaulting him up the leaderboard with the guys behind him struggling slightly in these conditions.
Yeah, which hole they on now, the last group? They're on 12, 13.
Yeah, playing 13.
See, 13's a par 5 down the hill. They're probably going to hit wedge in there, so you could see a 1 or 2 shot jump up there.
Yeah, certainly scoring opportunities for the guys as they come in, but it's going to take some solid golf.
You got 14 and 15 as well. Those little tiny par 4s, but if you miss it in the wrong spot, you're making bogey, and even your second shot's in at 14's downwind. So if you hit it a touch long, it bounces through, and so you could see some turn 1 or 2 shot swings pretty quickly.
Yeah, certainly what you want to see over the closing stretches of a tournament like this. Doug, we are going to say goodbye to you. Thank you so much for joining us in the commentary box today. We really do appreciate it.
Rich, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed the company.
It's been wonderful chatting to you and picking your brain. We really do appreciate it. Best of luck
Thank you.
for next week, and we will see you out there.
We will do. Thanks, Master.
Dylan Naidu, conditions look a little bit tough out there. The wind is blowing, making it a bit hard for you guys to score out there.
Yeah, it's really starting to pick up on this back nine, especially drying out the greens, and so you have to play for more rollout. Definitely a bit trickier, and you have to choose different lines of the tee as well. So it's a lot of thinking that you have to adjust to. So yeah.
Happy with your week?
Yeah, it was okay. Felt like I had a few really good nines. If I just kind of strung those into 18 holes, it would have been better, but not bad. And yeah, looking forward to the next couple of weeks of events.
Yeah, and what will you be working on heading on to Haddle Park next week?
I think just more of the same. I've been working along my short game just to tidy it up. I feel like I'm making more than enough birdies. Just a couple of silly drops here and there, lapses in concentration. So just tidy up one or two things and yeah, hopefully a bit higher up on the leaderboard.
All right, great. Thanks, Dylan. We look forward to seeing you next week when the Rise Up series continues.
Thanks, OG.
Back to you, Richard.
Thanks very much, OG. Yeah, good to hear from Dylan Naidu. A pretty good effort from him this week on T70, and today it's been a bit of a battle. 70 in total, and the revolving door of commentators and is Jake. Thank you very much for coming to have us.
Thank you very much, Richard.
Nice to be out of the course, out of the wind, and do the get a little cup of coffee.
It's absolutely coffeeaholic. That's going down well. It was very tricky today. It was beautiful the first 2 days, very sort of straightforward. You could just play your numbers, and today the greens were much more and swirling winds. So it's a really good venue. It's actually a lot of different options on the greens. So I think it's been a really good week at AeroPM.
Bit of a slow 75 in the first round, a heck of a bounce back yesterday with a 66, very impressive, and a good performance today again with a 70.
Yeah, look, I didn't get to play a practice round because I forgot to put in my health doc thing, so I had to get a corona test, which blackballed me a little bit for a practice round. So I played blind, so it was my own fault. But yeah, I was glad to bounce back on day 2. Played really well, so all in all a decent week, but yeah, the first round really threw me out of contention for sure.
You aren't the only player that's happened to. Darren Fichart had exactly the same issue, couldn't get a practice round in, struggled in the first round and bounced back in the second with the same number as you. A common trend.
Yeah, look, Fichart struggles is slightly different than mine because he's struggled under par. That's Fichart. Expectations from the youngster, I'd say, leading the order of merit. So no, Darren's a very competitive player, and he never settles for less than the best, basically. So I understand that he was frustrated. His contention, he's got a shot at it, and that's really what of a final round.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Darren in with a shout at this stage. 2 off the pace. It's Daniel van Tonder who leads the way. 3 under on his round, which is very impressive, as is that 5 under number from Louis Diago. We just saw him make eagle on 17, and he'll certainly post something that the guys will have to aim at. But a whole bunch queuing up on 9 under, and plenty of holes and plenty more scoring opportunities to come. You would think that something like 10 or 11 just wouldn't be enough.
Yeah, 17 might be the key because it's playing extremely short today, straight downwind, and they even moved the tee boxes up. So, I had gap wedge in there, so it's you're going to see some eagles in it. But it's also quite careful because the greens are quite firm, and being downwind, that's going to be the deciding factor. But hard, it's a tough tee shot, so I could see a guy drop a shot on 18 easily. But it's so swirly, and the greens are really fast, so you got to know what you're doing.
Doug McGuigan and I were talking about 16 as well, and just how tricky that can be.
Yeah, look, 16 is drivable, but it's, the thing about this course, it's such a lovely old-style golf course with all these big trees, and there's always little trees just waiting to catch you, So if you want to go for it, it's doable because it's in the front, but if you don't execute, it's quite a tricky shot. So it's a nice risk reward on 16, and then 17 is just going to be about getting a birdie or an eagle, and 18 is playing quite tough.
Jake, when you step up on the tee on 17, do the eyes light up? The wind is thumping behind you. You're basically playing off the seniors' tees. How hard is it to try and sort of rein yourself in and not try and hit the hit the stuffing out of the golf ball and try and put the eagles in mind and try and sort of just go about your process?
It's a good question. No, I just try and milk it down the fairway, tee it high and watch it fly. So now I went after it because I just figured, you know, I'm sort of in the middle of the pack. I need to be aggressive, and I hit a great tee shot. So I only had a gap wedge in, but from there it didn't go so well. But look, it's you got to commit to these shots, because when it's breezy, sometimes you just want to sort of get in position, and if you don't strike it solid, it tends to deviate on the wind. So the strike of the ball is essential in a day like today, because once you miss it a little bit, it's just exposed to the wind.
Patience key as well, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you'll hit some good shots, and every now and then we've got some firm bounces, like on 14, the short little par 3. You know, they've got it on the top ledge, and you pitch it on the top, it just bounces over the green. You know, so you hit a good shot. Myself and Jaden Shaper, we both hit good shots, and it just goes over the green. So shots like that, he ended up making bogey after hitting a good tee shot. It can get to you. So you got to be sort of wise about your play.
This is a tricky green as well. There's a bit of a ridge that I guess you sort of aim at and try and look to land it there and hope that it does get a little hop and releases.
Yeah, see there, Heinrich just playing for too much help from the wind. He pitched short of the green, needed to bounce where his ball's now, he needed to land it in that area there. But look at Rupert Kaminsky. He's a nice up-and-coming young player, but I think he's driven in the rough. If this is his drive, it's just enormous. It looks like he's 40 meters from the green. Oh, man, if this is his second shot, that's amazing.
Yeah, the guys have hit some big ones here on 17. As you say, step up and absolutely lash it.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's hard for us older players. Look at that bounce, unbelievable. You know, now that we can't use any steroids or anything, you know, it's just not an option to go to the horse steroids. But no, some of these youngsters, they hit it so far, it's unbelievable. I mean, that is a par 5, ladies and gentlemen, and he could have thrown it on the green. And there's another guy even further. No, but it's, look, it is playing very, very short with the downwind, but still, these guys have hit it in excess of 400 meters, just to give you an idea.
Yeah, and to put it in perspective as well, I was out there a little earlier on having a look, and from that tee box, the fairway bunkers, which are normally there to catch a drive, are only at about 210, 215 meters. So they've literally taken most of the threat of this hole away. And with the downwind and dry conditions, I guess that's also contributing to these massive drives.
Yeah, look, it's mostly, well, it's actually both par 5s on this finishing 9, because 14 is also playing, 13 is playing straight downwind, but 13 is a little bit more tricky because it's dogleg to the right, and if you hit it too straight, it goes through. So, and you've got some protection around the greens with a water hazard, but I feel like 17. They almost needed to tuck the flag a little bit away to protect this, because it's very gettable where it is there. But you know, make it exciting, and why not make the guys finish with a couple of eagles and so on. So here's Louis de Jager, nice tee shot on the last. It's crucial to be in this fairway because it's a lot of trouble if you're not in the fairway on this hole. So he's got a good chance to maybe post a number here if he can get a birdie on the last.
Jake, what are you looking to hit off the tee here? It seems to be one where you've got plenty of options as well.
Yeah, look, I've hit on this hole a 4-iron, a 3-wood, and a driver the 3 different days. Today I hit a driver, and I only hit it about a meter in the air because I just wanted to hit this low wind burner, just to not let the wind get a hold of it. Oh, Louis hit a horrible shot. That is not ideal, and he's short-sighted because the flag's on the right as well. Just shows you, I mean, it doesn't look so windy on the screen, but I mean, for a top-class player like that, he's 5 under on his round, to hit a shot that far offline, that is a lot to do with the wind, you know. Now he's got a really tough up and down, so I'm sure Louis is not happy with that.
Tricky hole. You don't want to be on the right-hand side of that green. Not much room to work with. We've seen this a lot from guys coming into 17, not able to control that bounce off the green and left themselves in a spot of bother here.
Yeah.
Interesting electing to putt this.
Yeah, you know, they say putting from the rough, it's never advised, but, you know, Tegan probably reckons that he can just get this thing rolling as soon as possible, and it's into the wind, so it'll be on the slow side. But in his position, he's 3 under par. He needs to give it a go, you know. Let's see if he can get a bit of momentum back, and he's left it short, unfortunately. Tegan is a guy that works really hard, but it doesn't seem like he's quite reached his potential. So it's a pity because he was nicely positioned going into this final round.
So tough to judge, I guess, the first meter or two of that putt, how it makes its way onto the green. It's always a potential that it can get away from you, and you may be a little cautious with that.
Yeah, look, I think guys need to be a bit more bold sometimes, especially if you're sort of back of the pack, because you need to push yourself a little bit, you know, out of your comfort zone and guard against being protective, protecting your score. You know, whenever I've played with some good players over the years, I've always been very aware of how aggressive the guys play, and I don't see a lot of great players ever playing sort of defensively, you know. So it's interesting. So, you know, if I was a youngster today, I would just try and hit it as far as I can and just play as aggressive as I can, because that's the modern game.
Yeah, they say you can always learn control, but to teach the aggression is tough. You've got to develop it yourself.
No, 100%. Look how quick that is downwind. All right, it's a pity he didn't really give it a chance, but Heinrich's had a good week. He's been playing some good golf lately. To another player who's been really solid the last couple of years is Niels Kierkegaard, consistent performer. He's got a really solid swing and good ball striker. That's why you see him so often on the leaderboards, because if you can strike it solid week in, week out, you'll always be up on the leaderboards.
Interesting hole here on 14, and what they've done there. Been very much towards the back there, and the tee box also moved back to what you guys had yesterday.
Yeah, I looked yesterday, it was only a sandwich, and guys were almost spinning it back into the water. Well, mine actually spun off the green, but today it's playing a lot different, you know. When we played this hole, it was excessively strong, and two of our balls bounced on the top ledge and went over. So let's see if Donnie can hold this back pin position, because once you pitch it just a little short into that slope, it just stays there.
You mentioned aggressive players. This is one of them, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Daniel does not back off, and it's great to see. He's got a great attitude, hardworking, really good guy, an asset for our tour.
Does it very much his own way as well.
Look at that bounce. That's exactly what happened to our group as well. Just pitch it a little far, it just takes off.
But certainly going at it, not going to die wondering, is Daniel van Tonder.
No, that's it, and that's the way to play in my book. You know, that's the way you're going to move forward. Some weeks it won't come off, but the weeks it'll come off. You know, you'll end up winning the tournament, and it's almost better to maybe win a couple of times a year, but maybe miss a couple of cuts instead of finishing, you know, in the middle of the pack every week. You know, so I like that style of play, but not everyone's got it in them. I mean, this final round, a lot of the pins are tucked, so you got to be bold.
Dylan Morstead, another player who's shown plenty of potential during the Rise Up series. Had a good run at things at Killarney and maybe lost his way a little bit, but they're the opposite of what the other guys did.
Exactly, he bounced it into that slope, what I was mentioning earlier, and it just came back all the way to the front. So now I'll have a really hard two-putt. So, you know, I like the fact that the tour have put it up like this for us to test the guys a little bit. I'm all for making it quite hard. So that's why I'm maybe not so fond of 17 playing so short today, because I like the fact that the guys need to be tested, because we all want to graduate to other tours, and to be honest, it is a lot harder when you play other tours. So the more we can roughen the guys up down here, the better, I think.
Now, Daniel van Tonder at this stage leading on 12 under par, one better than Peter Moelman and two clear of Louis De Jager and MJ Viljoen. Jake mentioned being a multiple winner, and he really has been impressive during the Rise Up series, bagging a victory a little earlier on in the campaign.
The African Bank Sunshine Tour Championship went down to the wire at Glendower Golf Club. Daniel van Tonder, Martin Rowe and Jaden Shaper began the third and final round with a share of the lead, but it was van Tonder who pulled clear. Strong winds made scoring difficult, but it didn't seem to trouble van Tonder. He reeled off 4 birdies in a bogey-free 68, finishing on 11 under par for the tournament to claim a commanding 3-shot victory.
I felt it this whole week. I mean, I've been playing well, being consistent. I mean, this course is one of those courses, if you're striking it well, being accurate and putt well, you got a chance of winning here. So, I mean, I've been doing that for the last whole while, so, I mean, it feels good.
Van Tonder was one of only 2 golfers in the final round who didn't drop a single shot. He wasn't conservative by any stretch of the imagination, but was able to limit his mistakes.
I kept the same aggression, just to make sure if I miss it, I miss it in the right place. And because they put the pins left and right in the greens, and being so quick and true, if you give yourself a little chance, you can make an up and down par or even chip it in.
It's the second event of the Rise Up series as the Sunshine Tour resumes golf after a 6-month COVID-19 enforced break. Van Tonder made the most of the time away from the sport, but has been working hard since the resumption.
Yeah, it's special. I mean, I've been putting in hard work in, been practicing since everything opened, been practicing every single day, putting hard work in, getting my calluses back on my hands. Because lockdown made my hands nice and soft, so put some hard work in it, but yeah, happy.
He's an absolute gem, is Daniel van Tonder. Worked a lot on things away from the game during the break. I know he said he did a lot of intermittent fasting, worked hard on his fitness and his health, and you know he's a strong lad, and certainly looks like he's used the time off to good effect. That, as you say, Jake, is a tough place to leave yourself in.
Yeah, it just slopes away from you there. He actually did quite a good shot, but just out of position, you know, so you're paying the price for that. And Diago, talking about out of position, he's very much short-sighted here. He'll need a bit of magic to get this close. Oh, and he has played an unbelievable shot. Ran it through the Kikuyu. Golf balls don't want to run through Kikuyu, so that was exceptional.
Back to 14 now, and there's Dylan Mostert from the front of the green. He's got a monster putt in store here.
Yeah, just spun all the way to the front, and it's actually a lot longer putt than what it appears on the screen here. It's all good 45 feet here, probably. He'll do well to 2-putt this. Oh, lovely touch there.
Yeah, really good effort from him.
Yeah, seems to be quite a good prospect. I don't know much about this Dylan Mostert. But he's been popping up on the leaderboards, Richard, so one to watch out for.
Yeah, 2 big, easy IGT Challenge Tour wins in 2018, and certainly a man who knows how to win, although on the IGT Challenge Tour, but that's not something that you do very easily. There's some great players on that tour too.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many good players all over these days, and a decent shot by Moelman there, and he's right up there, so if he can knock in that long one, he can put a lot of pressure on Daniel. Now, Neil's gone over to the claw quite a while ago, and it's really, I wouldn't say saved his career, but I think, you know, he once told me that he was putting so badly, you know, he wasn't going anywhere. And since he's gone to the claw, he's been really solid contender. And he's become quite a good putter like that.
Done a lot of work on his putting. Said yesterday that he maybe neglected other aspects of his game, but managed to put it all together the first 2 rounds here.
Yeah, look, that's always the challenge for us. You know, there's so many facets to the game, and you always feel like, you know, you're avoiding certain areas when you work on others, but it's about bringing everything together. But you know, Neil's, I think his game is in a good state at the moment. So Donnie's got about 10 foot right to left here. It's a clutch putt at this stage of the game.
Don't want to be dropping a shot here and bringing the others into the mix. He's done so well, especially after turning. Reeled off 3 birdies in 4 holes. Is coming off 1 on 13 now. Done exactly what was needed to grab control of proceedings. And that's a heck of a putt.
Clutch save there by Donnie, and I'd love to see him make that, because it was only a wedge, and it feels so clumsy if you miss a putt like that on a shortish hole like that.
Louis Diago now looking to save par on 18 after that miraculous shot from the green side right.
Oh, that is a great save.
Really well done. Diago posts 10 under, and pretty good effort from him. Not 100% sure it'll stand though, but
that was like up and downing out of a ball washer there, Richard, because he was really on the wrong side. He didn't unbelievable shot there.
Daniel Fantonda still leading the way here at the Vodacom Championship Unlocked from ERPM Golf Club. He's one clear of Peter Moolman, with Louis de Jager wrapping up now on 10 under.
You! You champion, you! Yes, you! Today is your day because you are our favorite. So, use Vodacom and we'll reward you with Vodabucks to bank and spend on your phone on things like these. Yeah, Bo, on us, because you're special. And it's available to everyone on Vodacom. For you, for free, for real. Join to earn, bank and spend. Ready? Vodacom.
It's the third and final round of the Vodacom Championship Unlocked here at ERPM Golf Club, the fourth event of the Sunshine Tour's Rise Up series, and a wonderful afternoon of golf that we do have in store for us. Thank you for joining us today. A couple of ways that you can follow the action live, be it on DSTV Now or the Sunshine Tour's Facebook page or YouTube channel. It's wonderful to be able to bring you this action here on a Friday afternoon. This is our lead group now, and our overnight leader, MJ Viljoen, who's struggled a little bit today, rocked early on by a double on the second hole. That really did put pay to his progress, struggled after that, and it's been a bit of a battle for him today in these conditions.
Yeah, pity. MJ has really been playing solid golf, and the second hole is a gettable par 5, reachable in 2. So to make a double bogey there is almost like dropping 2.5 shots, and it's tough. When you're leading a tournament and you start off like that, you are on the back foot for the rest of the day, and it's hard. It really tests your character. But that's the thing about professional golf. It does test your character, and there's nowhere to hide, and it builds character.
How tough is it to lead an event and lead it comfortably as MJ was the first 2 rounds? His only tournament win before has come when he came from 4 shots behind to claim the victory. Is it tough being out in front and having sort of a bullseye on your back? Oh, my goodness.
That is Jake Redmond just turning it over, and you can see in the right to left spin how much firmer it lands on the green. It's you really do need to shape it left to right there. But yeah, good question, Richard. I think it's much easier to chase from behind and to lead by that many. All eyes on you, and everyone's there to chase you down. So it is difficult, and I feel for MJ because it might have been almost easier to start 1 shot behind and just sort of be in the shadows under the radar. But if you've played well, you actually do want to lead, but it's kind of a catch-22.
This man been quite remarkable throughout the Rise Up series, and very impressive. Currently leading the Sunshine Tour's Order of Merit, and that a very impressive shot from Darren.
Unbelievable shot by Darren, so experienced. You can see left to right spin on that ball, made it land softly. That is the exact shot he needed to play. The wind's down off the right. So that is typical of Darren Fichard. He's been around for so long. He knows how to play this game, and sometimes you wonder if he travelled overseas like George did. Maybe he would have racked up some wins over there in Europe as well, because it shows you the standard is quite high here in South Africa.
Yeah, got off to a great start in the first event of the Rise Up series.
The first Sunshine Tour event back after a lengthy COVID-19 enforced break produced a thrilling finish. Darren Fichard came charging through the pack to win the Betway Championship. Starting the final round 6 shots off the pace, he carded the low round of the tournament, a 6 under par 64, elevating him to 3 under. He finished almost an hour ahead of the lead group, but try as they might, they failed to reel him in. Fichard claimed a 1-stroke triumph and his 18th Sunshine Tour title.
It feels amazing. At one stage, I didn't think we were ever going to get out here again, but it's amazing to win. And I had my wife in the back, so that's also quite cool. But also the way I won, to come through and shoot 6 under on this track is, I'm going to give myself a few taps on the back when I head home. But yeah, I suppose that was awesome. Just making birdie on the last hole to win is always great.
Fichart reeled off 6 birdies without dropping a single shot in the final round. It was a remarkable performance, made even more impressive given how he started the week. He was on the wrong side of the draw, teeing off early in round 1 in sub-zero conditions. Despite that, he battled to a 3 over 73, then a level par second round 70 before his final round heroics.
Such an impressive performance from Darren Fichart, winning at Killarney. Followed that up with a tie for 6th place at Glendower, and then solo 4th at Pretoria Country Club. And that has him leading the order of merit early on in the season. Peter Moorman with his attempt for eagle here on 17. Not to be, but should be fairly straightforward. A birdie putt for him coming up.
The hole, that's what you want to do.
Luca Filippi, the back 9 is playing a little bit tough. Tell us about the 12th. It's playing quite interesting right now in the afternoon.
Yeah, the 12th is, at least like 2 over par, 1 over par. Our group, we made 4 over par on that hole. So the pin is in a tricky pin placement there. So yeah, just you can't leave yourself past the flag or else it's putting off the green. So it's a tough hole. And yeah, unfortunately we made double there today. So, but sure.
And even coming down the stretch, decisions are very important in how you try and attack those last 2 holes.
Yeah, for sure. The winds have been swirling all day, so it's tricky to get your distances on point. And also the putting's been very tricky with the wind swirling. So, but yeah, managed to finish birdie par, so it was a nice finish.
Yeah, and the Rise Up Series has allowed you to kickstart your pro career. How have you found it so far?
It's been nice. I haven't played the greatest golf. I'm still trying to work on a few things. But it's been a good atmosphere. I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, I look forward to the last one next week.
Fantastic. Good playing to finish level par here today. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, OG. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Right. Back to you, Richie.
Good to hear from an up-and-coming youngster. Got his Sunshine Tour card at Q School a little earlier on in the year at Houghton, and certainly has shown plenty of potential since then. Managed to make the cut at Killarney in the first event of the Betway Championship. Missed the next 2 cuts, but here has finished up nicely to join you, Jake, on 5 under par and in a tie for 22nd. He spoke about the 12th hole, 3 over par for him, double drop today, bogey in the first round. It's a hole that he clearly didn't like. It happens, doesn't it? You get holes that just don't suit you, and that's that for the week.
Yeah, that is a pity because it's not such a tough hole, really. It was only about a 9-iron, 8-iron most of the week, so obviously didn't suit his eye, but yeah, you're right, it does happen. Long putt for him, yeah, he'll do well to 2-putt this, and he's left it woefully short. That often happens, you're under pressure, you haven't got off to a good start, and you're just fighting that battle, and you can't seem to get your rhythm. The harder you try, the worse it gets, and we've all had it, and Emir is having one of those days today, and it's unfortunate to see, but he's still got some holes left. He just needs to stick and hang on in there.
As you mentioned, has had a good run of things of late. Tied 19th at the Betway Championship, tied 15th at the African Bank Sunshine Tour Championship, and tied 12th at the Titleist Championship. Just not able to turn those into top 10s and take that next step.
Yeah, MJ is not the longest hitter, so in a way, ERPM is quite a good venue for him because it's more of a placement kind of golf course, and you've got to think your way around. And he's done it exceptionally well the first 2 days, and he just, like you said, got off to a rocky start, and he just hasn't. Just got shook up a little bit, and now he's just fighting to hang in there. But let's see if he can make this uphill, right to left. Can be aggressive on this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, a mistake there on 14 from Viljoen. Really all due to getting into the wrong position off the tee there. And you stand on that tee box, and it looks like a fairly innocuous hole, but so many things can go wrong there.
Oh, it's a sign of a great par 3. It's not long, but look at this. It's the final group. The guys are in form, and two of the guys have got lengthy putts for par, you know, and Fichard managed to pull it off, and he's got a 3 or 4 footer for birdie, you know. So that's a sign of a great hole for me. It doesn't have to take all the length and power. It's about the guile and hitting the right shape, you know. You had to get that little bit of left to right spin on that flight, and you know, Jake turned it over and went way over, and now he's struggling for par.
Jake, we really have seen some great courses showcased during the Rise Up Series, courses that we don't generally go to for the Sunshine Tour. It's been a while since we've been back at Glendower, Pretoria Country Club as well, and Killarney to start it all off with. ERPM this week's been a great test, and it's nice to go to different places for a change.
Absolutely, and I think ERPM is a definite little gem here. I mean, I think, you know, these days there's been so many new design golf courses, you know, the bigger state courses, and everyone just assumes those are the better ones. But I think do yourself a favor and come over to ERPM. Got some of the best greens in the country, and it's tricky, especially when they cut them short like they have been this week. And great test of golf, you know, and people are great here, and we've had a fabulous week, and I'd love to be back here. I think it's a great championship venue.
Yeah, they really have looked after us exceptionally well this week. Darren on the walk early with that, knew straight off the bat that that one wasn't going in. Still a par for him. But,
yeah, I also struggled a bit today. It's not like Darren. He's usually a very strong competitor in the final round. He's always there mentally to compete, and but it shows you the tricky conditions maybe got the better of him today, and just hasn't been able to find his rhythm. Well, Peter Wilman here, co-leader, he needs to try and get this on the green. He looks like he's slightly out of position. Second shot on 18 is a good test, straight into the wind. And it appears like he's quite far back here, Richard. So it looks like quite a longish club into this green, which is not going to help his cause.
A lot of ways that you can go about playing this hole. Not sure he's taken the right option off the tee here.
Yeah, look, it's interesting. It is about picking the right option, but then you still got to execute. Even if you take an iron, it's still a hard shot to get in the fairway, and it's not too bad there. He's only just off. He's got the distance spot on, but you know, compared to where De Jager was a little bit earlier, you know, Peter's got a much easier shot, but he's still got to execute that. It's not a given up and down, but he really does need to get that up and down to put a little bit of pressure on the guys behind him.
It's interesting, having watched the number of groups come through 18 now, not too many of them missing on the left-hand side of the hole there. I guess they're blocked out by the tree and not favouring a draw into that flag.
Yes, and the wind is in off the left, so the wind does hurt. And yeah, you're right, there's some huge trees down the left-hand side. So if you wanted to start it sort of down the left-hand side, you almost have to gamble a little bit with those trees. But yes, good Groenewald. Nice to see him having a good week. Kurt's been around for a while, and you know, he's having a solid week. See if he can finish with a flourish here.
Just holding up on the ridge there, but that'll give him a look at eagle.
Very nice play there by Kurt. That's a great chance for eagle.
Jake, and the long drive contest continues here on 17.
Yeah, we're just waiting for someone to drive the green, it seems like, Richard. But Ulrich van der Berg, solid campaigner, years of experience, and a little unlucky, stay up there. That's fine. Good shot. I think he was eyeing that in the air. It probably looked better than what it finished. He was hoping to let it scoot on just a little closer, but another massive drive here. Oh, it's our in-house singer, Wynand Dingle. He's a very entertaining player. Always nice when you warm up next to old Dingle. Vein cut on the range, always entertaining. Puts a smile on your face, and he's such a good player. He just hasn't quite reached his potential as well. He's often been in good positions after 2 rounds, and then he's just fallen away a little bit. Oh, and today you can see by his score, he's really had a terrible day, and it's such a pity because Wynand can really play, and maybe he'll learn from it today.
Yeah, been pretty solid during the Rise Up series, but not able to turn it into anything meaningful, unfortunately, but an opportunity at least to finish strong for Wynand Dingle.
I'm sure Peter is feeling a little bit of nerves here. He's He's got a tricky little shot. I mean, I'd say in a practice round this was straightforward, but in the circumstances, he probably knows he's right up there, and this is going to be clutch to try and chip this dead, that he doesn't have to knock in a putt here. And it seems like he's got a good lie. We can see the whole ball, but the greens are quite firm, and maybe he can even chip it in, Richard.
Jake, there's obviously no leaderboards around. How are the guys watching what's happening there? Are guys generally having a look on the app and the device?
I think the guys have been checking out the app. It has been quite a nice addition, you know, because it gives you the option if you want to look or not. You know, some guys don't look. I don't like to look too much. Just try and play my game and shoot as low as I can. But sometimes it's good to watch just to get you going a little bit, because you can see, yes, you're actually way behind. Let's play a little bit more aggressive. But I think in this situation, Peter must forget about the scoreboard and just focus on the shot and try and chip this give.
Needs to up and down here to stay at 12 under par and post a number that would essentially knock out Louis Diago, who's already in as the clubhouse leader on 10 under after rounds of 69, 70 and 67. But this to better that by 2 if he can up and down this.
Taking a bit of extra time here, and you wonder sometimes, Richard, when players are really wanting to hit a good shot, it's almost like they get out of routine a little bit, and I hope that Peter didn't do this now, but now he's ready to go. Oh, and he's hit a poor shot. He's got away with it a half and half, but I'm sure he'd try to pitch that on the green, and he'll have a little bit of a knee knocker there to save his par. Got away with it though. It's not the worst, but you're definitely a bit tentative there by Peter, but hopefully he can knock it in.
Interesting the way he went about that, off the back foot, de-lofting a wedge or something, and it sort of
I would
like
have liked to see, slightly more on the front foot and try and fly it on the green to get a bit more of a consistent ball, bounce on the green. But he obviously had his ideas.
Good effort from Ulrich van den Berg for eagle. That left for birdie, but remarkable to see him back and competing after a hip operation. Really was struggling with that. Said it's been years that he's not had to deal with pain, and now finally playing pain-free, and it showed in the way he's competed. He was in the mix in Killarney, and again putting together a strong showing this week.
Definitely. I mean, Ulrich's been a solid player for a long time, and it was bothering him for a while, but he's such a fit guy, so I'm not surprised that he recovered so well. It's a bit tentative there by Kurt, but nevertheless another birdie, and I'm sure he'll be happy with his progress this week. Let's see if Wynand Dingle can knock in one here. Ooh.
Tough flag to be too aggressive with those sort of putts. You don't want to hit it 3 or 4 feet past and maybe miss the birdie coming back.
Exactly, it is quite slippery there around the hole, and let's see if he can put this yellow ball in the hole. Looks like the yellow ball didn't work so well today, but
that is lovely. An unbelievable putt from Wynand Dingle.
That's just going to improve his day slightly. You can see the body language is not great. He's had a tough day. But you know what? Well done to him to still fight until the end. You always got to keep fighting. This game will never give you anything for free. So it's great to see that he's hanging in there.
Yeah, and certainly a little positive to take from it as you head towards the end of the round, walking away with an eagle here on 17.
Should be a formality here for Ulrich. Never like to run a short eagle putt too far past.
That hole is causing all sorts of issues for the guys out there. Doesn't look as straightforward as you think it is.
Yeah.
Well, Peter Moolman has unfortunately rammed his par putt past, And this now to clean up his par, but he's been uber aggressive with that one, and it's gotten away from him.
Yeah, such a pity, Richard. You know, I sensed a little bit of inexperience there from his side. He didn't stay in his routine with that pitch shot. It just looked like he took way too much time and quit on it, and then overcorrected by being too firm on the putt. You know, it often happens. You just end up doing the exact opposite thing with the next shot. So really pity to see him make a bogey from such close range, being in contention. But still a great week. He needs to take the positives, and he needs to try and learn from what happened now in the last. You know, I'm sure he's going to be disappointed. But those are the little things that, you know, makes a player like a Darren Figard or a solid campaigner. He won't make a mistake like that. So that's why we have these rise-up events to really get these youngsters to learn and evolve and become better players.
Still a great week from Peter Moolman. 11 under par. He finishes up as the clubhouse leader. Unfortunately, I think that's going to be overtaken, but still a great performance from him, playing alongside those two guys as well. He also learned plenty from competing with Jaco Ahlers and playing with Luke Jerling. But lots more still to come from the third and final round of the Vodacom Championship Unlocked.
You! You champion, you! Yes, you! Today is your day because you are our favorite. So, use Vodacom and we'll reward you with Vodabucks to bank and spend on your phone on things like these. Yeah, Bo! On us! Because you're special. And it's available to everyone on Vodacom. For you, for free, for real. Join to earn, bank and spend. Ready? Vodacom.
Welcome back to ERPM Golf Club here in Boksburg for the third and final round of the Vodacom Championship Unlocked, the fourth event of the Sunshine Tour's Rise Up series. And with me in commentary, Jake Roos. Jake, it does look a little as though the wind has died down slightly. It was really blustery earlier on. The treetops are still moving, but it was trending towards getting properly tricky out there.
Yeah, look, it's always nice here in the clubhouse when you finish playing, but I still think it's quite tricky out there, and you know, bringing in the final round pressures together with the slightly firmer greens, and there's some good pin positions out there, so that's what we play for. This final 9 holes of the tournament, and let's see who can manage their game and manage themselves the best.
That man at the moment in picture on the right of the screen is managing things pretty well at this stage, looking for win number 2 of the Rise Up series. Daniel van Tonder currently leading the way on 13 under, 5 under on his round today, and that a very impressive performance from him so far, but looks like he's
Where he's
striding to the
walking,
trees.
yeah, Richard, I don't know if he's going looking for a lone tree to relieve himself, but certainly where he's driven it, it's no good whatsoever. He's blocked out by massive trees, and the only option he'll have is to go on the ground, and he's got a smidgen of a gap to roll it up, but this is where it really becomes a little bit of hit and a hope as well. Bad mistake here by Daniel. It would have been better to miss down the right. You know, in our group, 2 of the players missed it off the right, and it's a much easier angle from there. From this angle, it's really going to be hard for him to get it on the green.
Yeah, Jake, you mentioned how tough conditions were. Indicative of that, it's just 15 golfers are at this stage under par for their rounds, having either finished up or being still out on the course, and that out of the 52 that made the cut. It's quite remarkable how this course has changed with just a little bit of wind and things drying out considerably.
Yes, definitely. I mean, a little bit of breeze and just one day of not putting water on it has made a massive difference. But I tell you what, old Daniel is eyeing this lovely gap that's opened up here right in front of him, and he got a really good break because he does actually have a legitimate chance of getting this close. I didn't realize, obviously, from the other angle, but he's got a massive break here by having this shot. I mean, because there's so many trees there, and he's put it exactly in the perfect spot here.
Sometimes you need bounces and things like this to go your way. You think you've hit it into the trees, and maybe you find a little gap and you get out of here without causing any problems.
Exactly, but it's still a matter of execution, because I think it's easy to get it through the gap here, but it's about judging the length of this. And it's very firm, short of the green. So he's got to try and factor in the first bounce, how much it's going to take. If he can get this anywhere within 15 feet, it'll be a spectacular shot.
Looks like he got pretty good contact on that. Now it's all about how it releases, but not quite finding the green just yet. But from where he was, and I'm sure what he felt like off the tee, having hit it into the tree line there, that's not the worst result he could have possibly hoped for.
Not at all, but what you don't see on the screen is there is quite a bit of left to right slope from that left edge of that green. So although it looks to be fine, it'll still have quite a tricky little pitch from there. But you know, he's not in a terrible spot. You should be able to make a par from there. Oh,
speaking of
Fernand
trees,
Dingle, his day for a moment got better, but now he's in serious trouble over there.
no surprise, Ulrich van den Berg not out of position all that much, a little short on that one, but pretty good drive to get himself in a good spot.
That shot does play quite long, Richard. It's straight into the wind.
Kurt Grunewald here as well. Second to hit here on 18.
Kurt's down the left, so he's probably having to factor the trees down the left into his shot. So although from our angle it looks pretty straightforward, this is quite a challenging shot.
Does feed away there on the back edge of 18. We'll go back there and see the guys finishing up just a little while. Neil Skidicut's coming up short on 16.
Such a good tee shot from Neil to get it right in the channel there. A little clumsy with that pitch being in the fairway. He was able to place it, and I'm sure he won't be 100% happy with that shot because now he's got a downhill little right to left. It looks pretty flat where it is, but there's a bit of slope around that flag. But still, good opportunity for Neil to get one back.
Daniel van Tonder now eyeing this one out.
I think Donnie was fortunate that he was in the fairway, was able to place it a little bit right, so he's improved his angle. So I think Donnie should be able to get this on up and down. You know, the amount of hours he puts into his game, this is his, he eats this for lunch. Yeah.
Won't be happy with that, unfortunately, and that's bringing Bogey into the equation. We'll see how he fares in just a little while, but let's head down to OG Molefe now on the side of 18.
Peter Moorman posting the clubhouse lead at 11 under. Pity about the drop on 18, but you were putting together quite an impressive round there.
Yeah, I've been enjoying the back nine a lot more than the front nine, as my score shows. But yeah, I don't even know I'm even close to the lead, to be honest. I just found my ball, hit it from there, and that's how the game plan was.
Yeah, a couple of birdies on the back nine and eagle at 13 as well. They must have been massive for you.
Yeah, the putt has been a bit cold the first couple of holes and so on, so at least to start warming up on the back nine, so that's where the difference came in.
All right. And what happened on 18? I know you blocked it out to the right a little bit, leading to that only bogey on your card today. On the back nine?
Yeah, on the back nine. Yeah, well, I don't have the best of views from the fairway there under the tree, but yeah, wind off left. I just miscalculated the wind a bit, and yeah, just started a bit too straight, so the wind just pushed it to short-sided myself on the last hole.
Yeah, well, you'll be happy to know you've posted a clubhouse lead at 11 under, and you're not too far from the leaders, so
okay.
I figure you're going to hang around to see what happens.
Yeah, we'll wait and see.
All right, Peter, well done. Well played this week, and we look forward to seeing you next week when the Rise Up series continues.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Back to you, Richie.
Good effort from Peter Moorman, rounds of 69, 69 and 67, 11 under par. New clubhouse leader, and a pretty impressive effort from him. Daniel van Tonder, our outright leader at this stage, 13 under. But that's going to be a drop shot and not ideal, Jake.
No, that's the beauty of ERPM. You know, it's almost a drivable par 4, and suddenly Donnie's got 3 foot for bogey. You know, and Donnie being so aggressive, just overplayed his hand on this hole, and that's why I like this venue as a championship venue, because look at Neil Skiddercut, almost drove the green. Could have almost had an eagle if he chipped it in, and Donnie's made bogey. So great finishing hole to the tournament.
Options as well, different ways to play it. Literally do just about anything off the tee here.
Ulrich van den Berg looking very festive here, Richard. He loves a little bit of colour in the final round especially. And nice for some of these young players to play with a guy like Ulrich who's been around the world. And I'm sure they can learn a lot from him. He's such a good iron player, especially in windy conditions. And
yeah, handy to have somebody like Kurt playing alongside him. He'll certainly pick up plenty from the experience.
100%. Got a long putt here. It's all about the pace. Into the wind off, took a massive bounce. Although it worked out quite well. And I'm sure Ulrich will be happy to wrap up his day over there.
Now that flag, 19 paces on 18, 6 from the right. And Ulrich getting that pretty much dead weight. Yeah, he says as well it was bouncing a little bit.
That's how we know Ulrich. He's a perfectionist. He's not going to leave any stones unturned. Just making sure.
Back to 16 now on Van Tonder's bogey putt. So Van Tonder drops his shot, slides back to 12 under. Still good enough for a one-shot advantage at this stage over Peter Moelman, who's in the clubhouse already on 11 under par. And MJ Viljoen, who's out on the course, our overnight leader on 11 under, 2 under on his round today. But that'll be frustrating for Van Tonder. I'm sure he'll bounce back, especially with the 17th still to come.
Absolutely. He'll be licking his chops to send one down that fairway and try and get two back with an eagle possibly.
That one also hopped around the fringe, but it looks like it'll roll out nicely.
Well played by Kurt Groenewald. He must have been staring down that second shot. Just went a bit long, but straight over the flag. And nice to see him executing some good swings under pressure coming down the stretch. And he'll take a lot of positives out of this week.
There's a look at how things stand now in the third and final round of the Vodacom Championship Unlocked here at ERPM Golf Club. Daniel van Tonder leading the way on 12 under, one clear of Peter Moelman and MJ Viljoen, with Louis de Jager already in the clubhouse on 10 under after a 67 today. Ulrich van den Berg finishing up on 18. Now Darren Fichard still out on the course, but unfortunately 1 over on his round today and not the final round push he would have been hoping for. Keith Horn, another experienced campaigner, 1 under on his round today. And then a couple of the youngsters out early on, 5 under par rounds for Tristan Lawrence and Kyle Barker. That's vaulted them up to a share of 12th on 7 under. That the best of the day as you go further down the leaderboard. Guys struggled a little earlier on. Really, conditions tricky. Not too many rounds under par there. Save from the experienced campaigner, Adilson de Silva. A 70 today from him, and that's lifted him into a share of 24th. Really impressive from Van Tonder so far as he goes in search of victory number 2 in the Sunshine Tour's Rise Up series, and at this stage a one-shot advantage for him heading to the 17th. Back to 18 now, and Groenewald to clean up his par.
Richard, you got to feel though it's sort of between MJ Viljoen and Donnie van Tonder at this stage, because you know the other guys are in the clubhouse, and with that 17th playing so short, you kind of get the feeling one of those two players might make an eagle there to get their nose ahead. But we're certainly in for an exciting finish.
Yeah, 17, as short as it is playing, certainly providing opportunities for the guys to score MJ slightly out of position here on 16, though.
Yeah, this is such a good little finishing goal, and this is exactly what we were saying earlier. You know, he's only got probably 40 or 50 meters in here, but really difficult shot. You know, he's got to guard against not dropping one here, same as what Van Torne did. Trying to run it up that gap, but it's such a tiny little gap. Oh, he's done quite well to get that on the green. That was really well played. And he'll have a chance, although it's a lengthy one, but at least, you know, he's safe in terms of not dropping a shot like Daniel Van Torne did. And remember, MJ has still got the downwind par 5 coming up, so plenty of opportunity for MJ still, though he's a couple over for his round today.
Jake Redmond in a similar spot here on 16. Also got to try and navigate his way through that gap at the front of the green.
Yeah, and the big thing is, Richard, if you can't put your hands on the ball, it's just that slightly less predictable. And, you know, these are top-class players, and for them not to be able to hit the green from there, it just shows you how tricky little shot that was.
Looked like he was able to go the aerial route there as opposed to MJ to kind of keep it low and try and run it up there. But certainly opportunities to pick up a few shots or to drop a few shots of the closing stretch here. We saw how fine that margin was with MJ Falloon yesterday on 18. Thought he'd hit his first shot out of bounds. I think he cannoned off a roof, came back in. He'd hit a provisional as well, but managed to find the first ball and made par and finished up with a 2-shot advantage. So there's plenty that can happen, especially on 18.
Yeah. There's Keith Horn. I haven't seen him this week, but, you know, that's typical Keith Horn. He's always around the leaderboard. Very solid contender. Played probably the guy that's played the most tournaments of all of the players here this week. He just plays wherever he can. At one stage, he had 3 tour cards, Asia, Europe, and South Africa. Loves playing golf and consistent performer as well.
Yeah, as you mentioned, a vast amount of experience here. 338 events he's played in on the Sunshine Tour, and that comes with plenty of experience. Spoke to him earlier on in the week about how he's been finding things in the Rise Up series. Some good finishes, tied 9th, tied 30th, and tied 16th. But in his own words, a little disappointed that he hasn't been able to convert that into something more meaningful.
Yeah. Yeah, look, Keith is such a solid ball striker, and it's just about for him often just to get the short club nice and warm and try and get over the line. But he's a consistent performer in the final groups come final round, you know. So it's good to see. Paul Bosself,
just left it in the mouth there.
Yeah, you hate to see that. It's downwind putt. He was probably expecting the wind to carry that a little further. Also a nice up-and-coming player, Paul Bosself, showing quite a lot of promise. I think he's only his second year on tour, and he could be one to look out for in the future.
Good experience gained playing alongside Keith Horn today, and another experienced campaigner in Jacques Blau.
Oh, absolutely. Jacques also played on a couple of different tours, and very professional, goes about his business, doesn't leave anything out there. Tries to factor in all the different environments and criteria. You know, he's also doing the aim point with his putting, so I'm sure he's got a good line on this. It's only for birdie, though, which is disappointing with this downwind par 5. I'm sure Jacques would have loved to have this for eagle.
Looks like he's gone to the arm lock as well.
Yeah. I suppose DeChambeau convinced quite a lot of people. He's been wielding that arm lock quite well. But you know what, Richard, I'm not so sure about this arm lock. To me, it's almost borderline illegal. I'd actually like to see them ban it. I would love to see the guys change the rule to the shortest club in your bag needs to be your putter. I'm not a fan of this locking into different areas of your body.
Yeah, it did seem like a convenient fix for a lot of the guys who went from the longer putter to go to that. And certainly has helped a number of people, as you mentioned, DeChambeau, Webb Simpson, another one.
Absolutely.
They've also gravitated towards that, and it seems to be working for them. But a very convenient out for a lot of the guys who were using the longer one. Just not happening for Darren Fichart today. 9 under par. not what he would have expected from this final round. 1 over as things stand, and currently 3 shots off the pace.
Huge putt this for MJ. If he can make this, and he's got the downwind par 5 coming up, it can really give him a bit of a momentum boost to go in for a strong finish here after struggling early in the day. Has he hit it? Oh, good roll. Just borrowed a little bit too much there, Richard, but good effort. You know, you could see the ball roll line over line, so that's a good sign. You know, it shows that MJ executed that stroke quite well. So I think he could be our danger man coming into these last 2 holes.
Said after the first round, he and his caddy had worked on something that was giving him a better read on the greens, but struggled yesterday to execute that, and looks like today is a good read, but just not getting it to the hole.
Yeah. Just look at that bounce, unbelievable. I mean, that pitched in the middle of the green, and now he's got his work cut out because there's not a lot of green coming in there. It's really blustery out there, just backing off. I tell you what, if Dylan can stick this one close and maybe make a birdie on the last, he can also still have a shot at this. Does hit the ball vast distances.
Also that big first bounce.
Yeah, it's often difficult downwind because the wind pushes the ball flight down, so you want to flight it a little bit higher just to eliminate that massive first bounce. But downwind is not always that easy. But Daniel has hit a massive drive here. Obviously a little bit aggravated by that bogey on 16. And you know, Donnie's a big guy, he's got some big arms. Can see him unleash one here. But now he's got to tune it down and get the rhythm of this short little wedge shot.
Looks like he controlled that quite nicely. Very nicely.
That is massive by Dani van Tonder. That could be the shot of the week. Knocks that in to make an eagle.
Yeah, congratulations as well from playing partner Dylan Morstead. Jake, we're going to say goodbye to you. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really do appreciate your time. Best of luck next week at the final event of the Rise Up series.
Thanks, Richard. Thanks for having me.
You! You champion, you! Yes, you! Today is your day because you are our favorite. So, use Vodacom and we'll reward you with Vodabucks to bank and spend on your phone on things like these. Yeah, Bo! On us! Because you're special. And it's available to everyone on Vodacom. For you, for free, for real. Join to earn, bank and spend. Ready? Vodacom.
It's the final round of the Vodacom Championship Unlocked here at ERPM Golf Club, and the 4th event of the Sunshine Tours Rise Up series. Really have seen some fantastic golf today, in particular from the man out in front, Daniel van Tonder, 12 under par, 4 under on his round today, and a great look at eagle on 17. Joined in commentary now by Jaco Ahlers. Jaco, thank you for coming in to have a chat with us today. How did things go for you out there?
Yeah, Richie, thanks for having me. Yeah, as you can see, it's a bit blustery out there and firm. I played really nicely the whole week. I just didn't make any putts. I don't know if you guys could sort of see that, but it's challenging. It's especially you could see here where Neil's second shot finished, where it pitched in the middle of the green. It's very challenging with firm greens and blustery conditions.
Yeah, you had a little flicky shot in there as well. What did you leave yourself with here on 17?
Yeah, it's weird. Par 5, I had 84 meters to the pin and didn't manage to hit the best wedge shot, but still made 4 out of it.
Gives you some sort of indication of what these guys are dealing with here, but that was a really tricky and a really awkward shot for Neil to have to execute there. But 17 is playing considerably shorter than normal. The tee is up. It's almost around the seniors tee box, so for you guys, the eyes light up when you get there. You're expecting it to be a little bit further back, and you get there, and what a treat.
That's true, yeah. I actually joked. I played with Peter Moorman. We finished had a nice round today, and I joked with him on that tee, saying that today we're playing it as a par 4, and he almost believed me. So so yeah, that's funny. But yeah, we never see the tee there, you know, especially with the wind and the firm conditions. So didn't really expect it, to be honest.
Not a given, though, that the guys will make birdie from here. You've still got to hit a good drive and execute with your second. The green it's tricky. We've seen some funny bounces, guys coming in with wedge in hand, and it's bounced like a tennis ball and kicked off in all sorts of funny places.
Yeah, it's definitely challenging. Like I said, the thing is with a tee shot is you don't necessarily, because the tee is so forward, you don't need to hit driver. Peter actually hit 3-wood in there for his second shot, and I think he had 9-9 for his second shot. 3-wood for his driver, 9-9 for his second shot, which actually makes it a bit easier.
Yeah, it's all about the distance that you're more comfortable with hitting. I guess the further up you hit it, the more you've got to get cute and creative with sawing something off or trying to hit something harder than you would like to.
Exactly. I think Jake alluded to the fact earlier about the wind pushing the ball down, and the less spin you put on the ball, the more the wind's going to push it down, and the less it's going to sit, especially on firm greens like this.
Okay, you coming from the coast, that should be absolutely no problem for you, knowing how to flight and control your ball and work with the spin.
Yeah, that's what they say, but the wind in Joburg's a little different. You know, it's not as thick as it is down at the Cape, and especially coming from George. Oh, nice putt. Sorry, Neil. Especially coming from George, everything's still green. You know, we get rain in the winter, so it's a different way of playing golf in the winter in Johannesburg. You know, it's firm. Coming out of lockdown, it was a bit of an eye-opener because we're sitting at home for 5 months, and it's nice and green, and you're playing on lush golf courses. So it's yeah, you have to adapt a lot.
Daniel van Tonder now with an opportunity to put the hammer down here on the rest of the field. This for an eagle that would open up a 3-shot advantage for him.
Yeah, that's big. Oh, he pushed that off the bat, unfortunately. But good birdie. It's a tough finishing hole, and I think that gives him a 1-shot lead, if I'm correct.
Well, now he's got a 2-shot lead, and that's fairly handy heading to the last. Could have been a smidge better, but still doing exactly what is needed of him today, and a very impressive round, currently 5 under par. It all really happened around the turn for him, though. Birdie 10, 11, 13, and 15, and now knocked in another one here on 17, so making his intentions known here on the back nine.
Yeah, he's a very solid player. I actually played with him and Neil Skiddercut the first 2 days, and Donnie definitely does it his own way, but he repeats it every time, which makes it really good. So he's a really solid player, and it's not a surprise that he's up there again.
Finished runner-up in the order of merit last season, and just carrying on that form despite the lengthy break we've had due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Neil Skiddercut for par here on 17. He'll feel like he let one get away there.
Yeah, definitely. That's a bogey today on the scorecard.
Certainly a hole that they should be taking advantage of, but Jaco, it's not been as easy as it looks out there. The blustery conditions have made it tricky for the guys to try and post something, and only 14 golfers under par throughout the 52 that have made the cuts here at ERPM Golf Club.
Yeah, it's you know, it's actually such a nice layout, this golf course. I said that earlier in the week, that it's such a good layout, and it would actually be really nice to play in the summer. You know, when it doesn't roll out that far, and you have longer shots in, and the greens are really well designed. I think they used to call this the Jewel of the East. I think, if I'm correct, the older members would know that. But it's definitely a really nice golf course, and it'll be nice to play it in the summer.
A wonderful club with a lot of history, and some great former players who have been involved here. John Bland, Hutchie was here for a while as well. So some big names that have been involved here at ERPM Golf Club, and have really enjoyed seeing the pros play this week. Keith, stepping off that one, looks like it's just a bit of gust that caught him, but it'd have to chip out from the trees there with his drive.
Yeah, I think there was an East Rand tornado that just went past there. It looked like he was showing the circles there. It's yeah, 18 's such a good hole. You know, it's I personally don't know what to eat off the tee, so you can definitely hit it in the trees, and your second shot's in the trees, and then the wind. It's just a hell of a good hole. That's a pretty good shot from Keith. He's got a
One of
good
the few
chance for his
players who's
par.
managed to hit it left of the flag here on 18. It's tricky that the tree on the right there sort of blocks you out a little bit. You've really got to go fairly far right and fairly far deep in the fairway to get a look at the left side of that green.
Yeah, it's one of those tee shots where you actually almost a double dogleg hole, where you're hitting the tee shot. If you hit it left side and a longer tee shot, you're blocked out by those trees. So you almost got to hit it shorter and right, but then if you push a little bit, you're in the trees on the right. So it's just such a great finishing hole.
MJ Viljoen here on 17. Looks to have got the drive away without too much fuss, and that's what he finds himself left with.
Yeah, this is in MJ's wheelhouse. He's really good with the wedges. You know, I think he said earlier in the week that he's working hard on his putting, but he's outplayed with him earlier in the series, and his wedges is really it's really on number. You know, he's like a Dilson. He's not the longest, the Dilson de Silva. He's not the longest hitter, but around from 120 in, he's really solid.
Still quite remarkable. This man only has one Sunshine Tour win to his name from 107 events. That was back in 2017 at the Sunfish River Challenge. So remarkable that a guy with his ability and dogged determination as well. He seems to be a bit of a nuggety, gritty character. Doesn't give up too easily. But he only has one win.
Yeah, he definitely is. But he's been knocking on the door the last few events and the last few years, and I can definitely see a second win coming soon. Yeah, it's pretty conservative from him, but it's a good chance. You know, he's putting up the green. Got a really good chance for 3 and definite 4 there.
As you mentioned, good form at the moment. Tied 19th at the Betway Championship, tied 15th at the African Bank Sunshine Tour Championship, and then tied 12th at the Titleist Championship. And, well, good finish here, and he should bag at least a top 5, if not up towards the number 1 or 2 position.
Yeah, he's trending very nicely, you know, lying second at the moment. So after the top 20s and touching top 10, he's trending nice. So I'd really expect him to win a tournament one of these days.
Jake Redman, not in an ideal position off the tee there. Maybe left himself with a bit too much to do there, and he's come up a bit short and just on the front edge of things there. Darren Fichard's been so impressive since professional golf resumed on the Sunshine Tour, currently leading the order of merit, and not going all his own way today, but that's a pretty good effort from him.
Yeah, he's such a solid player. You know, from tee to green, he's probably one of the best out there. And then if he gets a putter going, you generally don't stop him when he's leading. And like in Killarney, where he played a hell of a round, a really, really good round, the last round to win.
Yeah, that 64 was quite remarkable from him to claim victory in the first event of the Rise Up series. Since then, gone from strength to strength. Tied 6th at the African Bank, 4th at the Titleist Championship, and in the hunt again today.
Yeah, you know, you hate when these European Tour guys come here and take our Sunshine
Says
Tour
you.
money, you know.
Says you.
Yeah, I'm playing Asia, I'm not playing Europe, so you can't put that on me.
Another guy who applies his trade on the Asian Tour as well, Keith Horn. It's a different tour, isn't it, Jackie? We don't often chat about it. It's difficult for us to follow it as well. But it's a tour where there's some really, really good golfers producing some good performances on tricky courses.
Tricky courses, I think, is the first thing you would say about Asia. It's a totally different grass, greens, the fairways. It's humid, it's hot, it's something to get used to, you know, you need to get used to it quickly, because if you first or second year out there, you're not playing a lot of the big events, so you need to really get going. But it's a really nice tour or a route to go from Sunshine Tour, Asian Tour, Europe, that way, because the Asian Tour actually gives out categories on the European Tour as well. So and they've got all those co-sanctioned events. It's a really, really nice tour. Unfortunately, this year with COVID-19, we haven't. I played a tournament in Malaysia in March, just before the lockdown, and that was it. I don't think there's going to be any tournaments in Asia this year, which is a shame. But like all the other tours, membership just goes on to next year, and we'll just see how it goes next year. But it's a really, really nice tour to play on.
Yeah, it is a tour that a lot of the golfers are eyeing these days as you say, a route to other tours and going via that way. Jake Redman here on 17, came up a little short, was in not the ideal position off the tee here. Left edge of the fairway seemed to be blocked out by one of the trees and execute quite as well as he would have liked to here.
He's left himself a pretty standard running chip up the green, but there's a big slope on the left that he's got to navigate there. You can see the slope on the left. Should push it a bit on the right, so I expect Jake to get this within 4 or 5 feet.
Oh, really lovely effort from Jake.
Yeah, I think that's about on 5 feet. So yeah, pretty good. Nice that he chipped it past the hole. It's one thing that amateurs can learn from. He saw the line going past the hole, so the putt coming back will give you a lot more confidence of having seen the line first.
Also not been the best of days for Jake Redman. Was in with a shout earlier on. He only started the final round 2 shots off the pace, but has slid down the leaderboard quite dramatically. 5 over today, and that has left him on 6 under par in total and in a share of 16th place. So not a great final round for Jake Redman, but did well to get himself into a good position heading into the final round.
Yeah, he's also knocking on the door the last few events, and unfortunately, he just needs that one tournament where he puts 3 rounds together. It seems like most of the times he puts himself in a good position, but there's just that one round that gets him out of it.
Yeah, it was knocking on the door for so long, and we did think that victory of his last season in Swaziland would really be the catalyst that would help propel him to more, but it just hasn't been the case, and it's been a bit of a stuttery start to proceedings since bagging that win.
MJ for eagle should be a pretty nice putt. A little bit off the left. It's good speed. Oh, now he's put himself in a difficult position trying to make that for a birdie to be on 18-1 behind Donnie.
Interesting, Darren out here with the putter. We did see Neil Skiddercat a bit earlier on electing to chip this maybe from a bit further back, but it's an interesting play from Darren.
I think it's a very nice play because, well, it's a intelligent play because it's definitely sloping down towards the hole there. You just got to get it on the green, and then they just hit it a bit came out a bit left, but still it's a tap-in birdie from there. So it's a very intelligent play if you want to make sure of the birdie.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot from the guys, especially in the conditions that the courses have been in, electing to putt more from around the greens than maybe they have in the past. And is that down largely due to the condition and the way things are playing at the moment?
I would say yes. It's firm and it's pretty tight around the green. So it's always frowned upon to putt out the rough, like they say. But especially if you look at where Darren there was, that's a bit right from Dylan. But where Darren was, it runs pretty decent out of there, and the minute it gets lush again in the summer, that's not going to happen. JK for birdie. Yeah, well done. Really see, that's what I meant now, was seeing the ball going past the hole, and he could see the line and he could get the birdie there.
Our leader at the moment, Daniel van Tonder here, left side of 18.
See, there's one thing that Daniel can do is he can hit a draw, and he definitely needed it there, and that's comes up a bit short, but a very good very good spot to leave. Is that Skittercat's second shot right there?
By the looks of it, that's an unbelievable shot from Skitty.
Well, if you look where he's coming from, out the trees on the left side of the fairway, that is a really, really good shot.
Yeah, very impressive from Skitty there, and a nice way for him to finish with a kick-in bird on 18. It's not the most graceful thing of any golfer, is it, these days, to have to execute that drop. There's been some interesting ways of going about it.
Yeah, there's been some weird positions people drop the ball in. It's still, I don't know, I still don't really enjoy it, you know. But yeah, that's what the rule says, and that's Dylan there on the right of 18. Okay, so Dani looks like he's going to go first. Oh.
Such a good effort from Dani van Tonder from the front of the green there.
That could have been it right there.
Would have pretty much wrapped it up with the group behind. With plenty of work still to do, but should knock that in for a par and be able to post 13. And another great performance from Dani van Tonder.
One thing that helps Daniel as well is he grew up in this area, so I think he's played this golf course a few times as well, which definitely helps.
Certainly as a course that it pays to know. Dylan Mostert here, though, in all sorts of trouble, right of 18.
Oh, that was played well. That was really, really well played.
Not much of a landing area for him to aim at, but he's hit it pretty much spot on there. A great opportunity to save par from being way out of position with his second shot.
Yeah, that was a bit of imagination used there, you know. Especially in these conditions, you don't really see a lot of flops. You see a lot of bump and runs, but that was really well executed.
We're coming to the end of the third and final round of the Vodacom Championship Unlocked here at ERPM Golf Club. Daniel van Tonder, 13 under par as things stand, and close in with potentially a par here on 18 to wrap things up with a 5 under par round. MJ Viljoen closest to catching him. Peter Moorman also with a great finish. Well, Louis Diaga finished up a little earlier on 10 under, along with Ulrich van den Berg. And Dylan Mostert here trying to wrap things up as well, with what would be an excellent par save on 18.
Dylan's also been knocking on the door the last few events, and this is a really good finish, you know. He's also a youngster on tour, and it's nice to see the young guys coming out and trying to win tournaments, not just trying to make cuts, you know. It's really nice. He's also a big hitter, and I think this golf course suited him a lot this week. Another East Rand tornado that went through there.
Taking his time at least, you know, stepped off that.
Yeah.
Most Ammies would have probably just stuck with that and hit it in any case.
Yeah, that shows maturity. Unfortunately, that turned a lot after the hole, not into the hole though. But still a good finish, and I think that'll put him on his own in 5th, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, sorry, 7th.
7th, yeah. Yeah, it's been a good run for him. Tied 15th at the Betway Championship, 5th at the African Bank Sunshine Tour Championship. Unfortunately missed the cut at Pretoria Country Club. but a good run for him. This now potentially to wrap things up. It would be pretty impressive for MJ to catch him on the last, but this crucial for Donnie.
Yeah, very nicely done.
Solid par on the last, and Fantonda signs for a 5 under par 67, post 13 under par, and very happy with the way things have gone.
Yeah, it's going to take a very big birdie on the last hole from MJ. It's Donnie's wife that caddies for him there. Congratulations. And yeah, it's he's in the off time actually lost a lot of weight. We spoke about it yesterday, and it's helped his fitness a lot. And I think that's one of the things that's helping him a lot playing the golf he's playing at the moment.
Intermittent fasting. He says that's been the key.
Secret?
That's apparently the key.
Maybe I must look at that as well.
But yeah, certainly looking lean and mean is Fantonda, and it showed in the way that he is playing. Already a victory in the Sunshine Tours Rise Up series. And now all eyes on the last group out there, and in particular, that man in picture, MJ Viljoen, who needs a birdie to tie Fantonda on 13 under. That's where Viljoen started the final round, on 13 under after rounds of 64 and 67. 1 over on his round today. Didn't get off to the ideal start, but really has battled back well from there.
He has, and it looks like he's put himself in a good position on the last hole, if that is his ball in the fairway. This is Darren Fichard just getting a ruling from one of the Sunshine Tour officials. I think he's next to that distance marker, which might be in his way, in his swing. So he's trying to get a ruling.
Looks like Neil Herman out there. I don't think he's budging on that.
No, it doesn't look like it. There's a second opinion coming.
Still trying to convince another rules official of the merits of that drop there.
Darren could be very persuasive sometimes, so let's see.
Here's a look at how things stand though. Daniel Fantonda in the clubhouse on 13 under par. A final round 67. Such an impressive effort from him. It really got going around the turn. Finished up on the front nine, 1 under, but then birdie 10 and 11. Par 12, birdied 13, birdied 15, birdied 17, and despite a drop on 16, managed to post that 67. And that's put all the pressure on MJ Viljoen now. The only golfer able to still catch Fantonda. Does look like he has split the 18th fairway, and that is pretty impressive given what he did yesterday. Hit his first shot way right. He thinks it cannoned off the house because he had to reload, hit another one on the tee. Hit that into the fairway, but went and found his first ball, managed to make a par and post a number 13 yesterday, but really could have gone so horribly wrong for him, and glad he's put that out of his mind and managed to get a good one away on the 18th tee.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I didn't know about that. That tee shot again doesn't suit me at all personally, but it's such a good tee shot because, like I said, if you hit it too far, you're behind a tree. If you hit it too short, you're behind a tree. And to have a good mental picture in your head on that tee is very important.
They have moved it over the 3 rounds, haven't they? It seems to be way back today, but it was up a little bit yesterday, wasn't it?
The tee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was up a little bit, not much. I think it was about 10 yards up or 10 meters up. So, but today as well, it's playing gusty wind into off the left. So it's just one of those tee shots where you just got to knuckle down and make a good swing and just hit it. It looks like Darren's persuaded the second rules official to get the drop. So, yeah, it's always nice to have a laugh about the guys. So, let's see what he can do now.
Not the worst of spots. Does look like there's a bit of a gap there.
Yeah, it looks like he's looking up. So, I don't know if there's a gap in the trees that he's seeing. He does hit a high ball, so you never know. He can hit it really high when he wants to.
Would that be the 150 marker?
Yeah, that'll be the 150 marker. Looks like he's taking the aerial route. That's a pretty good result.
Really good result from there. Worth the debating over the drop, and it seems to have worked out nicely for
Definitely did.
Darren.
MJ now for his second shot. Very good position in the fairway.
Can see from that angle is slightly blocked with that tree. Not sure it will play too much of a role.
Yeah, a little draw into the left to right breeze should be perfect. Little overcooked it a little bit, but he left himself a chance.
It's going to be a lengthy putt for birdie there. MJ Viljoen, the last man out who can still catch Dani van Tonder, who's posted 13 under. Viljoen on 12 under, striding up the 18th, needing to make birdie to tie van Tonder and send us into extra holes.
Stay connected to the Vodacom Bulls family. Download the Vodacom Bulls app on Google Play or the App Store today.
Yeah, wait until I get my cool drink, all right?
Danny, well played here today. Leader in the clubhouse. How was it out there?
It was fun out there. I mean, the wind's blowing. I checked the weather last night to see how it was going to be, and I saw the wind's going to blow close to 30 k's an hour. And I knew the 5 shots behind isn't going to be much. I mean, I'm not too bad in wind, so I was actually quite excited about it.
You actually said this at Killarney as well, that you like playing aggressive in the wind.
Yes, I mean, my game suits it. I mean, it's the tougher it is, the easier it is for me almost. But I mean, it's hard out there. But I mean, my caddy keeps me nice and calm. Well, tries to keep me nice and calm out there. But she gets it right and knows me. So yeah.
You're going to be watching this last match with keen interest.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
All right, well played today.
Thanks.
Thanks, Danny. Back to you, Rich.
Daniel van Tonder, our clubhouse leader at the moment, 13 under par is the number he has posted after a 67 today. Jaco Ahles, fun is not the way I would describe things out there, but Donnie always does see the lighter side of things.
He does. It was definitely challenging today. Fun would have probably been second or third, but not the first word that would come out of my mouth. But he does love a challenge. You know, Donnie's always been a guy that loves a challenge, and that's probably what he meant. And he loves winning tournaments, and he looks like he's going to put another one in his pocket.
On the brink of his 5th Sunshine Tour victory. Before we get to that, MJ Viljoen still with an opportunity to snatch 13 under par and send it into extra holes. Jake Redman here, though, missed left, and this is 3rd shot into 18.
Yeah, very nice chip from Jake. He just showed on 17 as well that he made a good up and down there, and that should guarantee him a par on the last hole.
Not been a great day for Jake, but still, he'll take plenty of positives from the first 2 rounds and what he did there.
Darren's got a bit of a swinger from the right there down the hill on 18. It shouldn't be too bad, but one thing that makes it a bit tricky is the wind's blowing into him when he's putting downhill. So judging of that speed might be a bit tricky. It actually looks like MJ is going to putt first. So this is a big putt. From playing a bit early, I'd say this putt's probably a little bit off the left. There's a bit of a slope on the left that will push it towards a cup. So let's see what he can do and maybe push Dani for a playoff.
Viljoen giving this all of his attention. 12 under par at this stage. 1 back of Dani van Tonder, who's in the clubhouse on 13 under. Viljoen lighting this up for a birdie, which would send him back to 13 under where he started the day. Really was a day that got off to a rocky beginning. Double drop on the second hole, the par 5. Managed to get one of those shots back on the 4th, but bogeys on 7 and 8. Turned in 3 over par, but has battled back well from there. And this absolutely crucial if he's to send this to extra holes.
It looks good. It's running out of pace. That means Daniel van Tonder is our winner.
We have a champion at the Vodacom Championship Unlocked. MJ Viljoen unable to birdie the last and force a playoff. And Dani van Tonder in picture there is our champion. Don't know that it's yet sunk in for him.
Doesn't look like it, no. I don't think the news has traveled there yet. Maybe our feed just quicker than the real life, you know. Well played, MJ. That's second place on his own. That is another good week, another solid week, unfortunately for the last day, but you can take a lot of positive out of this week.
3 top 20s so far in the Rise Up series. This is best finish of the lot, and as Jaco Ahl has alluded to, it's really been a good week for him, and lots of positives that he will take from that, and that will hopefully propel him forward with one more event to come next week.
Yeah, that golf course would probably suit him because it's not the longest course and his wedge play is really good. He's a very precise player. So, yeah, it might not be a bad bet for next week.
Yeah, see how he fares at Huddle Park Golf Club, which is where the tour heads to next week for the final event of the Rise Up series, the Vodacom Championship Reloaded.
So nice of Vodacom to be back on our tour. You know, they've been sponsoring the Origin series for so long. Very good putt there from Darren. And it's nice, unfortunately, with the pandemic that's gone through, we lost the Origin series this year, and then it's so nice of them to just walk in and sponsor these 2 events for us to make it possible so we can play again.
Yeah, exactly. Vodacom have been very generous coming on board as sponsors of these last 2 events of the Rise Up series, as have our other sponsors as well, who have also heeded the call sent out by the Sunshine Tour Management. Betway, African Bank and Titleist all getting involved in these 5 events as professional golf in South Africa resumes after a 6-month break due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Jake Redmond now to finish up for par here on the last. Yeah, Jake knocks it in, finishes up on 7 under par, and that good enough for a share of 14th place. Darren Fichart, 10 under par for him, and a share of 4th place. But there's our winner. Looks like it has finally sunk in, or maybe he's just reading a few messages from friends and family who are congratulating him. But Van Tonder, champion here at ERPM Golf Club, 13 under par, and that after a stunning final round 67. The best of the day. Really was an impressive effort from Van Tonder and a worthy champion. His second victory of the Rise Up series. This really was impressive. Left himself with a bit of work to do on 18 to preserve that one-shot advantage. Almost holed out. That left him a relatively straightforward putt for par. And Van Tonder crowned a champion here at ERPM Golf Club. Rounds of 66, 70 and 67 for a 13 under par total for Dani van Tonder. One better than MJ Viljoen and a further shot ahead of Peter Moelman, who put in a great performance earlier, also signing for a 67 to end on 11 under par. Sunshine Tour title number 5 for Dani van Tonder, and his second of the season. That will also elevate him to the top of the order of merit. That after finishing runner-up last season in that wonderful battle with JC Ritchie, a season that went down to the wire and finished up a little earlier on this year at Serengeti.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more from Donnie in the coming years. You know, like I said, with his fitness is better, and he's such a good ball striker. Repeats his swing. It's his own swing. You know, I actually started calling him the Bryson Shambo of South Africa because it's pretty similar to that. And but he repeats it so well, and that's what you need as a professional on tour.
The attitude seems so good as well, Jaco. I mean, that really is key for a professional golfer. I mean, we joked about it now, saying it was fun out there. It wasn't really fun for too many golfers, but he has that positive attitude, which seems to translate into good performances.
Yeah, I think he's a very good space in his life. You know, he's happy what he's doing, and he's back. He's back in Joburg. They moved down to Natal for 2 years, a few years ago, and he's back to where he grew up. And I think he's just comfortable with what's going on. He's comfortable with his golf. His wife's caddying for him, so it's there's a lot of positives which he uses to his advantage, which is what you have to do if you want to win tournaments.
Certainly a great team with his wife Abby on the bag, and it's translating into good performances. Tough conditions for the golfers to deal with during the final round of the Vodacom Championship Unlocked. A lot of guys posting decent numbers, but there were some big ones there as well. You look at somebody like Jake Redmond, just had a bit of a struggle out there today, not going his way, and unfortunately sliding down the leaderboard to a share of 14th. But by contrast, Tristan Lawrence and Kyle Barker with 67s today, vaulting their way up the leaderboard.
Yeah, that's a very good score today. You know, it was blustery, it was tricky, 67, very good, and that just shows you around of the day, the winner in the end, Daniel van Tonner, and then Peter Moelman, who I played with, who played really well, unfortunately bogeyed the last hole, but that's a really good score today.
Conditions tough at ERPM Golf Club, but what a host venue it has been. It's really, really tested the professionals. It's provided plenty of drama and excitement. I think the course has been presented exceptionally well. The greens this week were absolutely magnificent, weren't they?
They were very nice. You know, I said to one of the guys, I'm playing in Asia, so I can't putt on good greens, and that showed this week. But these greens are really nice. The surrounds of the greens are nice. The bunkers were good. The fairways were unfortunately just the winter way of playing it. But the course was presented really nicely, and congratulations to OPM for having a professional tournament at their venue again after years of not doing that.
Yeah, they have had a few in the past, but it has been a while that they've put on a Sunshine Tour event as well, which is nice to see that they are moving in that sort of direction. And I think by the success we've had this week, there's no reason why we shouldn't be coming back here on a regular basis.
I agree. I think this golf course in the summer, when it's nice and lush, would be a really, really good test. You know, there's a few great holes. The 8th hole from the back tee, there's water left and right in play. The 18th hole is a great hole to finish. So I would really like to see that, especially in the summer, where you really have to, like they would say in America, golf your ball to get it around this golf course.
Certainly plenty of options and ways that you can golf your ball around here. There's options galore, aren't there? I mean, you can hit just about anything you want off the tee here. You can be super aggressive if you want, or be slightly more conservative and put yourself in a position that you're more comfortable in.
Yeah, that's a good thing about this design. You know, there's so many different ways of playing it. A guy like Daniel, I know he hits driver everywhere, and it sometimes comes off and it sometimes doesn't, but when it comes off for him, he shoots the scores he does and he wins tournaments. And I'm another guy that, if I can reference myself, a guy that wouldn't need driver everywhere because I'm not as long as him. So that's a nice part of a good layout. You know, if you've got a good golf course, you can play it in so many different ways.
And it's produced a worthy champion today. Let's head down now to the side of 18 to see our champion crown, Donnie van Tonner, winning the Vodacom Championship Unlocked.
Thank you, Richard. What a magnificent ending to the Vodacom Championship Unlocked here at ERPM. It was going down right to the final putt, literally, with MJ Viljoen having an opportunity there to force a playoff. Donnie van Tonner, already a winner on the Rise Up Series, notching up his second victory of the Rise Up Series here at ERPM. It's been a wonderful week here at ERPM. Thank you to all the staff at the golf club, the management and the greenkeepers and everyone who's done make sure that this tournament has gone off without a glitch. Right, joining me on the presentation is Spongile Mnyunye from Vodacom, and she will now give the congratulations to Dani, who is our winner here of the Vodacom Championship Unlocked.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Dani. A real champion here of the Rise Up Series, winning his second tournament. And as you would have heard from him, he just wanted to keep a lookout on what's happening on the leaderboard and trying to make sure he gives himself an opportunity of winning once again. And he's been an outstanding winner right here on the Sunshine Tours Rise Up Series. The series now moves to Huddle Park next week, so do make sure you join us for that on our YouTube page as well as on DSTV now. We'd like to thank Vodacom for the amazing sponsorship that you guys have been giving to the Sunshine Tour, and would like to thank all the other Rise Up Series sponsors from Betway, Titleist, African Bank and the Gauteng Provincial Government as well, for allowing golf to come back safely and allowing our professionals to actually have tournaments to play. It's been great coming from you to you from ERPM, and right now is the closing of the presentation, and I send it back to Richard upstairs.
Thank you very much, OG. Congratulations again to Dani Fantonde. Yakualas, thank you for joining us in commentary this afternoon. Really do appreciate it. Good luck for next week as we conclude the Rise Up series.
Thank you, and thank you for having me, and just keep doing the good work you guys are doing. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Well, thank you as well for joining us today for our coverage of the final round of the Vodacom Championship Unlocked. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you this final round from ERPM Golf Club. We hope you join us again next week as we head to Huddle Park Golf Club, as we look to see if Dani Fantonde can make it 3 victories in the Rise Up series. He will certainly be one of the favorites, as he's just bagged win number 2 since the resumption of professional golf after the COVID-19 enforced break. So a win for Dani Fantonde, number 5 on the Sunshine Tour. And we hope you'll join us again next week at Huddle Park. From all of us here at ERPM, it's goodbye.